Welcome to The Real Study with your hosts, MrSniDBitS,
I don't have a problem with him, but I don't think he's that and a bag of chips.
BlackGirlMarvel,
I cried laughing. That was hilarious.
Tylermakesfilms,
That was like our favorite movie for some reason. I mean, it was really good. I enjoyed that movie.
Allthemoviethings,
I think the thing why I enjoyed it more too was the fact that we were going to talk about it from this perspective.
The Pre-Review with BlindBiggie,
Hey, this is BlindBiggie. Welcome to the pre-review.
and me, the Real Study movie voice guy.
I'm the Real Study movie voice guy.
Let's go to the poster wall.
Good evening and welcome to The Real Study. My name is MrSniDBitS and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you do celebrate. We want to, of course, wish you the best of times this
That's
time
great.
of year. And we are going to be watching some holiday movies, primarily Christmas movies this evening. We will be watching Love Actually, Last Holiday, no the in that title, and then The Best Man Holiday, which is a sequel to The Best Man. And of course, as always, we do have BlackGirlMarvel that wants to tell us a little something about what y'all should be doing.
Yeah. Okay. So first and foremost, happy holidays to everybody out there. We want to, from The Real Study, we love you guys. We thank anybody that's here right now joining us. First and foremost, we are a podcast, okay? Go on all the podcast places and listen to us. Give us 5 stars. Boost us up if you like this episode or any previous episode. And you'll be able to like check in on previous episodes. You know, go to The Real Study on podcast. So that's on Spotify, Google. I'm pretty sure we're on Podcast Republic, all the good ones. All the good ones.
Oh, good.
Check us out, The Real
Are
Study.
they all good though?
If they have us, yes, because we're good.
Right?
Even the not so good ones, we're still on there because
we're still
we need y'all to
listening.
boost us up so we can be on the better ones. Come on now, come on, do it for us.
Happy hooligans.
Also, we'd love it if you guys can just follow us on all social media. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We love the engagement. We love the questions, you know. The Real Study on everything. And as always, if you enjoy what we do, how we talk, the people that we are, if you want to engage with us more separately together, anything like that, engage in like we have trivia, we have all kind of stuff. Join our Discord. That link will be in the bio. Our Discord is popping, as the young kids will say nowadays. And
Are they?
is that what the young kids say? Are they saying that?
Are
I'm
they
not
saying
sure.
that?
I'm no longer
what
young,
they used
so I
to.
don't know these things.
Yeah,
I think they
no.
used to say it was banging. Is that what? No. Okay. No.
It was fresh when I was
it
a
was
kid. Everything was
fresh to-
fresh.
Fresh to
Dope.
death.
Yeah.
Dope,
Fresh to
stupid.
death. Yeah. So like it's
Yeah.
it's
I'm
all
late
it's
80s.
all the words that we don't use in the right context. That's what our
Cherry?
Discord is.
Anyone use cherry anymore?
Cherry. Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god. Or my favorite one, if we want to go
Killer.
back. You know, our
Stellar.
Discord is 5x5. You feel me? So
All right, Faith.
come on, she's the greatest. Rest in peace, Kendra. If you know,
If you know, you know, right?
If you know, you know. But join us on Discord. We have great conversations there. We get trivia stuff to any of the movies that we're watching, and we also engage with our real students. And if you join our Discord, that's what you will become, a real student. So join us. Thank you.
Awesome.
You had kind of the early on. You had kind of like a Chicago accent.
A little
Hey,
bit.
there, we're gonna do the podcast there.
Oh, what's
And,
that?
we got the podcast.
Yeah, we got the podcast
And,
there.
Right?
Should I
gotta
be
love it.
Nigerian? Because I am in a Nigerian play, and,
That'd be cool.
and it's crazy. So it's,
Oh,
I'm,
man.
next time
Next
I'll
time,
do
yeah.
Nigerian.
Next time.
Next
All
time.
right. Well, tonight, first things first, we're going to get into Love Actually. This was a BlindBiggie request
Ooh.
for holiday
Biggie-
time.
Biggie might
And
hate
let's
me with
move
this
on
one.
over to the main screen. And of
Ooh,
course, as
me.
always, how are you guys doing this week?
Pretty good.
Tired, but hopped up on caffeine. If you couldn't tell.
Busy
Nice.
week. Good.
Gotta love it.
Busy
Gotta love
week.
it.
Yeah. I feel you on
And
that, right.
you guys got plans for the holidays, I assume?
Yeah, just some traditional family stuff.
Mhm.
I hang out with the family, and it's mostly like all the presents I usually buy are always for my nieces and nephews. So I kind of
Nice.
try not to go crazy with them, but it's tough because there's so many fun things.
Well, you
Uncle
keep going,
Ray.
ooh, that would be great, or this would
Yeah.
be great. Yeah. I'm with you.
And
on
like
that.
there's a lot of little ones too, so like buying baby clothes is really easy because like they're not they're not that expensive, and they're like so tiny.
Yeah.
And
But
everything's
they're also
cute.
gorgeous.
Like,
They're
man.
gorgeous. You're like
Yeah.
this outfit with this top, with this,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
shoes,
That
the
is-
socks. Like you just go crazy.
Oh,
But
yeah.
baby outfits
That's
always come in
my favorite.
threes. I swear, you can only like it always comes in 3 packs or something.
Oh.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah.
Unless you
for
get into the
sure.
really really expensive stuff, and then it's like one
Yeah.
off, whatever.
Are you still doing your Christmas shopping or?
Oh yeah, I still have stuff that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that trip in California like slowed me down a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Glad to see you back safe.
yeah, it was good.
Definitely.
Good.
Yeah, my birthday is 5 days after Christmas, so
So this is also a happy birthday episode to
we still have a lot of time.
Black Girl
Oh.
Marvel,
Time.
because we will not be on
Yeah.
air for your birthday.
a lot of people, or maybe I will, you never know.
Oh.
But a lot of people want to be like, here's your birthday and Christmas gift,
Mm-mm.
and I'm like,
that's broken.
so you sought out violence on this
Right?
day, because I didn't choose to be born 5 days
That's
afterwards.
what I was about to say. I didn't choose to be
Right,
There are
born.
I
two
know,
particular
like-
people to blame, honestly, and we should,
No, like literally, like my mom's
Mhm.
birthday was actually like 4 days ago. Her birthday was on the 14th.
Oh,
So she's
man.
got the same situation.
Not really, because she's far enough away that they're like, here's your. Even though I will say this though, her job did this thing where like, so they gave her a birthday card and a Christmas card, and they both had gift cards in it for Dunkin' Donuts, but it was only $5
Each for
Oh,
each card.
Oh, yeah.
each.
Oh,
Each.
$10 for the donuts isn't terrible.
But you could have put $10 on both.
yeah, right.
I wonder if everybody else got 10.
They might, because they got issues with my mom and her job, but we ain't gonna bring that up. You know what I mean?
Let's. How about you, Tyler? What are you doing for Christmas?
I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea. All my days are kind of blurred. I have school. No, I don't have school on that. Like that, I have school next week, and then I have finals up until the 24th. So Christmas Eve, we're also in school for a little bit,
Really?
filming. Yep.
That's disrespectful.
On a Saturday?
Man.
That's disrespectful, man. Tell me-
We're
give me the
all
name of your school
protesting
off
your
air.
school for that. That's terrible.
I'll fight your school right now, the way I'm feeling.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, when I was in film school, like we were shooting weekends all the time. Like,
Right.
Makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's less
I get
people
it.
in places, so if you go to a location, or I could see lots of reasons to shoot
You'd
on
be
a weekend.
surprised. It's
Well,
tough
no,
to get
yeah.
locations. I don't know. Do you have a hard time finding locations down there, Tyler?
We've been lucky because most of our
For
shoots are
free
on
anyway.
campus. Yeah, or like they have like
Yeah.
certain ends, like with different like. 'cause
Yeah,
Netflix
that
is
makes
right there
sense.
too.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, that's cool.
Well, you are at the epicenter where they
yeah.
film all over the place and shut down the city to do
Yeah.
it constantly. So
But that-
I
but
get that though, because
That's a
it's like
double-edged sword too, though, because
it's like one of those things for. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Bri.
oh, sorry, like because like everyone's kind of in the know, and so a
Mm,
lot of people might like want money for a
Yeah.
location. You know what I mean?
very
So,
true.
yeah.
It's true.
Especially closer we get to like holidays, they're like, oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
an extra billion
Yeah.
for this little,
Right.
this little lot. You're like, oh,
Well,
okay.
being that
It
we
was
live
only
in duck
$100.
country
$200,
here,
but yeah.
so we live in football duck
Yeah.
country. Everybody that lives anywhere
yeah.
near the stadium charges people to park. Like everybody
Yeah.
makes a
Yeah,
hand over
I can
fist for
imagine.
parking in their
Of course.
driveway, in their yard, you name it.
But
people
that's
are
like
doing it. So
here.
you
That's
gotta
like
take
here.
advantage.
That's like here in Ann Arbor when like the two Michigans, when University of Michigan and Michigan State go
Oh,
at it,
yeah. Mhm.
and they're there. The neighborhood,
That's
like
insane.
one, it's already crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And then two, like everybody's like, you can park in my driveway, give me $15.
Right.
Yeah.
And, and like, or they'll open or they'll buy a lot so people can pay them to park in that.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Parking
Like,
lot's a
it's
good
just
way to
how
make
people-
money. It's a
Yeah,
weird
it is,
thing,
though.
but it is a good way to make
is.
money. So we have some Christmas movies that we are going to talk about this evening.
Mhm.
The first one is, like I said before, Love Actually, which is
Love
Blind
Actually.
Biggie's request. This is a 2003 release with a stacked cast, a ridiculously stacked cast, even some
Tyler, there it is.
Americans.
That's the word.
Stacked, yes,
That's
there it
the
is. It
word.
is used a lot, yeah.
He said it, yeah.
Ensemble,
Yo,
star-studded.
can I just make this for on the
Star-studded.
podcast? Let me
Yeah,
just make
please.
this real clear, real quick. I tweet and I'm not being aggressive because I know I said those words myself. So
Oh, yeah,
like, I just like doing
yeah,
funny
yeah.
shit.
No, you tweeted it because you recognize it in yourself. You're like, oh yeah, I do.
We all
I
do
get
that,
it.
yeah. It's the word
Yeah.
for movie people in the last
Yeah.
10 years, 5 years.
Or back
Um,
in the 90s, they used to be like, man, she was dead. And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Hey,
But now it's
Yeah,
the
I've never
movie
used
that's
that
stacked.
term for that, but
True.
Yeah,
That's fair.
that's-
That's
It's a
fair.
thing, Bri.
Oh, yeah,
It's a thing.
I was in the
So
Navy. Yeah.
this is one of those interwoven, interconnected stories, much
Mhm.
like Crash or Grand Canyon or I'm sure there's others, but these are the first ones I'm thinking of.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day is another one.
Yeah, they did
I
a whole
Love You,
like
New
series of
York.
them after this.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this
you
but
know.
this kind of blew them
Yeah,
up.
I think New
This
Year's
was
Eve
like-
was one too.
New Year's
like-
Yeah,
Day.
this
Yep.
Yeah.
this started this. I won't say this started the genre, but I told somebody this reinvigorated.
It really did.
Yeah,
the
because there was like
genre.
a surge of them after this. so,
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's primarily a British cast. I mean, we're talking, Hugh Grant,
Yeah,
Liam
that's over
Neeson,
there.
Bill Nye.
We Americans love our British, boy. I tell you.
Oh yeah.
Colin Firth. I mean, we got some heavy hitters here. Martin Freeman playing an extremely strange role.
That was my favorite role.
I
That was
totally
my
forgot
favorite
about that. Like
Yeah.
it's been a while since I've seen that. I was
Right.
like, oh.
role. I've never
yeah.
seen this movie, so that was my favorite role. That was my
A
like, this is
British
great.
Andrew Lincoln, which was interesting because most people know him as
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
totally.
as
yeah,
an
yeah.
I have
American
issues with that
sounding
storyline.
actor.
Yeah, too.
Chwetel is in here. Anyway, lots and lots of people. But it's supposed to be all about love, whether it be love pain or love lost or love new love
Gained. Yeah.
gained exactly across the board. So I think it's aptly named. So let's go through it. Whose first time was this for Love Actually? Just Lala. All right. So we'll start with
Close
Lala.
to
What
me.
was your initial impression of Love Actually? And let us have it if you really want to just go. For
Okay.
it.
Sweet. All right. Hey, let's buckle in, folks. No, I'm saying. This wasn't bad. It was nice. I get what they were doing. Some of the storylines for me, I didn't like. I think everybody acting wise was amazing. Like, so let's get that out the way. Acting wise, I think everybody was great. Just seeing Martin Freeman just like simulate sex is hilarious to me. That was just so funny to me. And he's
I love
quite
the whole idea that they're trying to do it for lighting purposes.
No,
but, like, when they get
literally.
stand-ins is like, come on.
yes. And I
Some
love it
high
so
budget
much.
stuff. Yeah.
I was like, I love it so much, man. I was like, this
Yeah.
is just great. This is just great. And plus, they're just so casual, but then when they get together, they're so awkward with each other. And I was
There's
just like,
coworkers, yeah.
this is amazing.
Yeah, I love that part where like they pull out the light meter too, and you're like,
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
over,
go
yeah,
ahead.
in
Yeah,
some
very
inappropriate
specific, in a
places.
very specific area. Yeah.
You were like the part that really like the first time you see them when he's like, can you just like cup the boob? Like, can you cup the breast? And he's like, massage him. Massage. I was like, this is hilarious.
Come on.
I was like, this is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the acting from everybody. I think everybody like really honed in into what they needed. I will say the Keira Knightley Andrew Lincoln storyline is stupid to me. There's nothing romantic about that to me. Maybe it's just because I'm older now. Maybe if I would have watched this when it like I think it came out like 03 or something. If I would have watched it then, maybe I'd have been like, oh my God. This is so this is so cute. But now as an adult, I'm like, this is ugly. Like she like and I'm saying it's only ugly only because of how they did it. Because like from what we can tell, he's been a dick to her, or he just didn't he doesn't talk to her. So how can I believe that he loves her all of a sudden?
No
Like I'm just there's
like,
no connection. Like she literally said, like, you ignore me and you don't talk to me, and how would I like she didn't know. I was just like, and then that's supposed to be your best friend, and you telling his wife that you love her. Like nothing about that storyline was cute. I was like, is this Twilight? Like none of this is cute. Like is this
Also, it's safe to assume that like he has a good relationship with
right?
Little, because we don't see any signs of their like turmoil or anything. I mean, they just got
Nothing.
married, so it must be going pretty good.
And Andrew Lincoln
So
was going hard to get them the extra band thing and all the instrumentals and the audience.
But here's the thing, though, he wasn't.
Yeah,
I feel like he wasn't going for them. He was going for her. And I just feel like maybe if we would have seen something previous to where like Andrew Lincoln's character met her first and they kind of hit it off, and then when he turned around, Chiwetel's character came up and was talking to her. Then that's how it, like he missed an opportunity. But now you just like a bad friend across the board. Like you, like you were doing our wedding video. All you got was her. I'm just like, we couldn't make that. That was just too obvious. I just didn't like that storyline at all. But I enjoyed everything else. What is his name? Is it Hugh Grant?
The Prime Minister?
Prime Minister?
Hugh Grant, yeah.
Prime Minister? Yeah, Hugh Grant. This must have been the movie that got him music and lyrics, or which one came out first? I don't know. I think music and lyrics came out like in 2012 or something like that. Because all of the like the dancing, I love to watch Hugh Grant dance because
07.
it's 07. Okay, so a few years later, he came out with music and lyrics, and he loves thrusting those hips, man. And I love him for that because he's funny. He's like funny to me. He's honestly a British actor, which I think does American comedy very well, because our comedies are like a little different,
Yeah,
well, a lot different
Yeah,
than like both like it's a little. And I feel like he excels in his own, but I feel like he has the facial expressions and the timing that you just can't teach a person. He just has it naturally. So when people do stupid stuff and he's like, I bust out laughing. I'm just like literally like eating fries, cracking up at you because it's just funny to me. But I enjoyed this. I thought it was like beautiful in certain spots, except for that Andrew Lake and Keira Knightley. That was just trash. They let me down. They let me down with that. Go ahead.
So Tyler, I know you've had a busy week, and we had you come on even though you weren't able to get every moment of every movie. But did you finish Love Actually?
Yeah.
Okay.
Except maybe the last like 30 minutes, I like just zoomed through to check because I
yeah.
watched it before.
Let me just put it.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it like
They
this,
kinda
just so you
tie
know,
everything together.
everything works out. That's all I got to say. And then
Yeah.
you just
I figure out.
And then
pick
they
a
bookend it with
storyline.
the whole airport sequence.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it
that's
starts with
right.
that one. Yeah.
So
It was. I mean, for me, it was. I don't know. I think I don't. I remember liking it a lot more when I was like younger. I don't know. Like I don't know. Watching it now, exactly what Lala was saying. Like the Andrew Lincoln storyline was weird.
I love you guys keep calling him Andrew Lincoln.
That's all we call him. That's all. That's what he'll be forever.
his name was Mark, if you guys care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Mark.
Yeah.
No,
Mark.
Andrew Lincoln
Of
sounds
course,
better.
it was a Mark.
You
Of course
know,
it was.
Andrew
Man.
Lincoln sounds better,
No.
man. It's fine.
I think they were trying to show some of his stuff with like the wedding video, and
Yeah.
there was something about like Keira Knightley turning at that moment and being like,
Oh
"Oh
yeah.
my God, you've been filming me this." It was just like
At her
extra
wedding
corny
day.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a little
I
weird.
will. Can I just say, I feel like everything with Keira Knightley, she has moments. She to me is like a actor who like when she hits, but when she doesn't, it's very obvious that she's not. It's not going the way she wants us to go. And then this one, they just made her seem so like, like she was very like, her mouth was open the
very
entire
smiley.
time. She
Her
was
mouth
very
is open a
smiley,
lot more
very-
than you think it is.
Uh-huh.
That's a normal
like her
thing for
mouth is
her.
her mouth is open a lot. Like, but like I said, sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. And for me, in this one, like when she was on the boat and she was just like, and the wind was blowing, and she was just like, it's like okay,
Johnny
We
Depp's
get
on
it.
there. He's like,
he's like good, great. He's like, we get it. She's pretty. It's
Yeah.
like, all right, let's
Yeah.
do something else. Like,
I did
Go
like
ahead,
that one sequence with Alan Rickman. I love it, man. I realized Alan Rickman was in here, and then I was like,
I know. Yeah.
like it was weird.
yeah, I did the
seeing
same
it, like,
thing.
the part where I think they're in the department store, and this isn't just a bat.
Yeah. That was really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had made a note
Rowan
about that too. I'm like,
Atkinson.
man, this is
yeah.
beautiful.
You know,
You couldn't have picked a better actor to do it.
I
Rowan
know,
was
totally.
perfect.
Oh my god.
in the initial script, he was written as like a Christmas angel, and then
Well,
they scrapped that
but
idea
they
because they
still
brought him
add
back.
in at the end.
They brought
like,
him back
yeah.
as like the guy that helped the little boy get through.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So that was what his role was supposed to be. I think they said that he was supposed to pop up in different spots, kind of like.
Oh, so in
make
a weird
things
way, he was
seamless.
making sure that he got caught by his wife because
Yeah.
he should have regretted it. He should have not done it.
Yeah. he was
So that
alive.
makes sense. I
Exactly.
would have liked the
Yeah.
movie more had
But
they.
they
put that in.
took that element away from it because I think they thought it would be like a little too fantastical for something that they were trying to
Or
ground
it's
in
a
a way.
rom-com, so it can't be
Right.
2.5 hours.
Right. So,
So-
but to me, Rowan is just he's great at what he does. I'm not even
Yeah,
mad at.
it was so
I
good.
love him. He was good.
He is brilliant. What about you, Brian? When was the first time you saw this, and what'd you think this time?
Yeah, the first. So yeah, man, this is one of those movies that does not hold up. I will say that. Like, yeah, the first time, yeah, I was pretty young, and so everything's like,
Oh my god.
yeah, oh, this is
So
everything's so
cute.
sweet. You think that whole last segment with the whole cue cards or the
Yeah.
cards and everything is like really, but now you're just like, stop it, man, no, that's not. I mean, there's even a commercial going around right now that it like parodies that. I think it's like an AT&T commercial or something, and yeah, that one's not. I almost feel like you could just totally take out that storyline, like it doesn't, and the movie's still fine. Like we don't really need that whole story.
Well, the rest
And
of
they
it was
really
like
don't
really
expect
lovey.
much to like everyone else. Like some people are at their wedding or whatever, but
Yeah.
deal.
Everybody else intertwines way more than
Yeah.
than the Angelique and Keira Knightley story.
No,
So,
totally. Yeah. Because I mean, the
Yeah.
prime minister is like the brother of Emma Thompson.
Emma Thompson's,
Mhm.
yeah.
That, like her and
And then
Alan
like
Rickman.
yeah, and then their kids go to school with those other people's kids. Like so
Yeah,
it's like
right.
that makes sense. And
Yeah. So that was like definitely my least favorite storyline. I think one of my favorite storylines though, even still, is Liam Neeson and his son.
oh my God.
Yeah.
100%.
Thomas Brody
Pretty
Sangster,
cute.
whatever his name
Like,
is. He's
yeah.
such a cutie.
It's
He's
pretty
such a little
sweet.
cutie.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And that one still like holds up to me, and like, and it was a great thing for him just like losing his wife
Aw,
recently,
Smitty.
Well, and he's
You
a
know.
stepdad too, which is not your typical
Yeah,
role,
yeah.
right? So he's playing a stepdad to this kid and still being a good dad. Which
yeah, it's like
is
a
awesome.
positive
Right.
stepdad,
Right.
perspective.
But he's
too.
honestly like a cool stepdad because he's like
yeah,
he doesn't. I love that each step he wasn't like, whoa, you can't be in love. You're like 12. Like
Right.
stop it. Like
No,
he
was
thought
just
it
like,
was
what are we doing
encouraged
next?
him.
How are you gonna do
He's
this?
like, what we doing next? He was like, I got an
Yeah.
idea. He's like, what's the
Yeah,
idea?
yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
this is how you
It was
raise a
just funny.
child.
Right.
This is how you raise a child. I just loved it. It was so good.
yeah, it was good.
That was the most fantastical storyline, to be honest. I was like, what is this
No.
fantasy?
yeah, right. Yeah. I will say too, there's a lot of other cringy stuff that I was noticing. There's a lot of like
Who give it to him?
bat phobic kind of language. In it.
Oh,
Man, like I didn't notice it the first time around. I was like, oh God, like it was just like really
that
just
was
hitting you.
yeah, that was killing me because I was like,
Yeah.
if she fat, what am I? Like,
Oh
if
my-
she, like I was like, if she's fat,
I'm like, yeah.
It wasn't even that she was
That's
fat too. They just
the
kept
movie
making
got
fun of her
worse, right?
thighs. Like her thighs and her
Yeah,
butt were the
like-
primary focus.
no, they kept calling her like chubby. It was like
Yeah,
her
even her
thighs.
dad
she's
called her
chubby.
Plumpy.
Yeah, he called
Oh,
her
that's
Plumpy.
right,
Like
Lumpy.
that's her name.
That's right, Plumpy.
Because my question is, no offense, I'm really not trying to shame anybody, but the
Right.
sister is
Right.
huge. Like she's not huge, but she's bigger than, like wait, I'm cross.
You're thinking the Portuguese.
I'm thinking about the Portuguese,
sister,
but
yeah.
I meant like in their family, it's like you calling her Plumpy, but like none of y'all
Her dad
is like
was a big dude.
athletic.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all not svelte
totally.
around here. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
But even in that Colin Firth storyline, like when he comes to visit the house, there's still this very like just not
Mhm.
just doesn't fit right, and there's a lot of like, to me, it was a lot of objectification, objectifying, a lot of like stuff based on physical like just physical looks rather than like stuff about the actual person. There's a lot of that going around.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of that stuff was like I was really paying attention to a lot more than
Yeah.
Back in
Even at the
2003.
end when she like jumped in his arms at the airport, he was like,
He's like, "You're
he was like,
heavy."
God, you're
Oh, I
heavy. And she's
know.
like,
Oh
shut.
my
And I was just
God.
like,
Oh, like
don't
I
think
don't
I'd
care
be
if
with the
you're
prime
even-
minister after that.
when it doesn't, it's something you just don't joke about. It's not funny.
No,
Like I don't care if there's
literally.
even a thing. Yeah, no.
The movie
But if
was
it's
like,
a
just
thing
in case
between
you change your
them,
mind.
if it's a
No,
thing
no,
between
just in
them,
case
it
you
would be
didn't hear
done behind
before.
closed doors,
She's chunky.
not
She's chunky.
walking through the airport. So what about
Oh,
the
yeah.
most ridiculous? No, the most fantastical one. I do agree that the kid one has got a little fantastical nature
yeah.
to it. But the guy that goes to America and finds
Yeah.
the four
Ray
women
just mentioned that.
who just
yeah.
immediately want to sleep with him,
Yeah. The moment he said that,
which
I
is
was
meant to
like,
be a joke. The whole thing
the
is a
moment
joke.
he
Right,
said
but-
that, I was like, he about to go to America and find some fine women. Like the moment he said it, I was like, there's no way he's not going to get what he wanted. I was like, there's no way. There's no way.
Bats.
No way.
Bats makes a good question. Does it even pass the Bechdel test? Which I don't.
I don't think it does.
I mean, just my gut instinct tells me like no, there's no way. it
No.
passes the Bechdel
Well,
test.
we
No,
were
no, I
watching
don't think
Thelma
it-
and Louise last week, and that barely passes the Bechdel test because most of the time when they're talking, it's about a guy or it's about. There are moments where they do.
I
There
literally
are.
have a
It
book.
does pass it,
I literally have the book.
but it does pass it. But it's still there's
Yeah.
a ton of it that still doesn't, and it's very interesting.
Right.
that-
Like the book I have is all about that, and it gives a rating of each of these films. Alien is actually the one that's like actually the first film that they used to apply the Bechdel test. That one barely is like the bare minimum.
Oh,
There's only one scene where Ripley and is it Nancy Cartwright?
Yes,
Is that her name?
I believe
The
you're right.
actress. There's only one scene between the two of them. They're talking about the alien. And that's it. And that's the bare like minimum. But
is the alien male or female?
yeah.
Well, if they're
It might be asexual, but
if they could be
Mhm.
asexual, and it kind of feels
Yeah.
like they are, or it feels like we talk about them having a queen, so
yeah.
maybe those are all
Yeah.
male drones, which would still, it wouldn't pass the Bechdel
Right,
test if they
right,
were.
yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Traditional
Though.
man,
I'm just
but
saying.
yeah, not human man.
Right.
And of course, the Bechdel test doesn't specify human.
It doesn't.
true.
It just says male,
Yeah.
and that kind of
But-
matters. Yeah.
But it is like the bare minimum. So, but I think Thelma and Louise is a little.
It's
It
a little
does. It does.
higher.
Don't get
It's
me wrong.
higher than
I just,
that,
as I
but-
was watching it, I was thinking about it, going, "Holy crap!" They talk about their husbands a lot. They talk about all these other guys a lot.
Yeah.
And then
But
there's
there
some
are a lot of
moments.
scenes between Thelma and Louise where
Mhm.
it's really just about them,
Right.
you know, and what they've got to do. And it's tough when the whole film surrounds. I mean, I know we're talking about Thelma and Louise now, but yeah.
You weren't
anyway.
here. We
I know
want
I
to hear
wasn't
what you
here,
have to
but
say.
yeah, I
anyway.
love
Yeah.
that's what, I mean, I absolutely love that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I just picked up this book,
Nice.
Gina Davis's memoir, so
Oh,
That's
that's
awesome.
that's
nice.
why I got the bookstore. So yeah,
So can we take
I
2
love that
minutes
movie.
and get your take on Black Rain, since you did suggest the
Ooh.
movie?
Yes,
'Cause
sir. Let me hear this.
really want to
Yeah.
hear your take on Black
Mhm.
Rain, because I'm not sure if you
Yes,
watched
sir.
our take on Black Rain.
Oh
but-
no, I didn't see your take, but I didn't get to rewatch it, so I don't have a fresh perspective on it.
Mm.
I would like to see it again, just because I know there's a lot of like questionable stuff as far as like Japanese culture in
Mhm.
it and whatnot, and what
Yeah.
and I mean, because it's Ridley Scott, I don't remember who wrote it, but I'm pretty sure it's not Japanese
No,
person that
it
wrote the
wasn't.
movie. So, but yeah, I remember it being just like a cool kind of noir, kind of like crime thriller, and most of it I remember was, between Andy Garcia and Michael Douglas. But I remember liking it back then. But that's the reason I chose it, though, because it's like so old, and like given what we know today and having some, perspective and learning things. That's why I chose it. So I was like, really was curious to hear what you guys were gonna say about it too. So
For sure.
what was
And
the
we had-
general consensus between it?
Well,
for
what did you guys rate it? Because I remember what I rated it.
Yeah.
I think I give it a 6 or a 7, right? Or
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
yeah,
I gave
yeah.
it like a 6,
Yeah.
6.5 or something like
Gotcha.
that. I think.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I wonder if
I
I
gave it
would
like
give
a-
it that too. Probably. Yeah.
I think I
so-
gave it like a 6.
No,
or
we were
Interesting.
joking about
Mm-hmm.
how did Michael Douglas get somebody to think he could be an action star, because he's
Yeah.
not really.
Yeah.
Then Lala was
know.
making a good point. It's like, well, Lethal Weapon did really well. Let's.
Because that's what he
Run with
looks like.
that.
He looks like Mel Gibson's character.
Yeah.
Right.
No, totally.
It's like they wanted to like capitalize on
and
that.
was this
so.
like post Romancing the Stone?
This was
Jewel of
post
the
Romancing the
Nile.
Stone. Yeah, this is
Mhm.
So I
'89.
think
So,
that's I think they were trying to
Yeah.
capitalize on that, like
Right.
thinking, oh well, he
Yeah.
was in this. It was like an action
Mm.
adventure.
Because
So,
he's like the gritty cop that gets
Yeah.
it done regardless of the rules. And I'm just
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
if that ain't
Pretty
Riggs, I don't
cliche,
know who
like-
else
yeah,
that
yeah.
is. And thumbs.
Even
the
has
thumbs
like
up
kind
at
of
the
a
end.
The
Yeah,
little
you got
thumb
the
at the
bad
end.
haircut, the bad like
Uh-huh.
mullety haircut.
yeah.
Anyway,
Good. I'm glad you guys liked
so
it. Yeah.
yeah, you should watch what we said. We had a fun time with it. We had positive things, and we talked
Nice.
about both
No,
sides. as
I
always,
totally
so.
was like not thinking it was gonna be like mind blowing.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
No, Thelma and Louise
Yeah.
won the night, no
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah,
So,
I think we
as
all
it
gave
should.
that 10.
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah.
all gave that a 10.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah,
Good.
one of the ones
Yeah.
that
That's
definitely
just
made
fun.
his career what it is. Made all of their
Yeah.
careers
For
for that
sure.
matter.
what
So
about you,
back to
Smitty? What did you think of
so Love Actually. I saw when it came
Love
out in
Actually.
2003,
Mhm.
and it's a rom-com. So they've grown on me more as I get older. When I was 20, I could have given two craps, other than a typical good one, one that really stood out to me.
Right.
But I like ensemble movies where they interwoven. I don't care if they're great. I still love watching the way they weave them.
Mhm.
So it's still interesting in that way. I'll agree with everybody. There's a consensus that the Andrew Lincoln, the Mark Juliet story is really
Yeah.
kind of lame, and the whole NXS cards thing, like the music video from NXS.
Oh yeah.
Like, all right, he's trying to
That's
hide it
funny.
from his friend, but why are you even at his door? That's your friend's door, and her like, what are you doing? And
Like, how do you know he just wouldn't pop up at the door first?
right?
like, how
and
do
if he
you know-
did, what
Oh,
if you
man,
had
can
the
you
"I love
imagine?
you" one up at the? I don't know. It just seemed.
How do you
a
know
big
she was
risk,
going to
but-
answer the door? And she ugly for kissing him at the end. Like, girl, if you don't go somewhere, close the door.
It might have been one thing if
Say
she
thank
cheek
you.
kissed him, like a
Hit him
quick
with a
cheek
thumbs
kiss,
up.
like "Thank you, I love that you told me this, and I appreciate
No,
it,"
she
and then walked
put it on
away.
her lip.
But she put it on the lips, which was a no,
Put it on the
no,
lips.
not okay.
Yeah.
And on
So
top of
too
that,
much.
too, I was really lost when he was like, enough. enough is enough. Like I
No,
was just
he,
like,
he
I
was
know,
saying
like-
that because he
is that
went
you
as far
shutting
as
down
he's
your
going to go.
feelings now? Like,
Yeah,
is that
just-
you shutting down your
Yeah,
feelings? I'm
exactly.
like,
He was done.
Yeah.
He did what he needed to do. He's got it off his chest and he's done.
I don't know if it was because Andrew Leak, I don't know if he was new to acting or just like new-ish, but it's like some of the words or some of the lines that they gave him, I had to like watch it again to be like, is this what he meant? Because when he was like, when she found out, like when they're in the apartment and she found out like he just recorded her the entire time, he was being a stalker the entire time at her wedding. And he was doing at her wedding, and then he was just like, yeah, you know, because it's this, and it was like very awkward. And he was like, self-preservation. This was self-preservation.
Yeah.
And he walks out, and I was like,
What?
what does he mean?
Now,
You know?
I know why they included this story. I mean, there are plenty of people who have fallen in love with their best friend's girl or boy. Like, it's happened
Yeah.
throughout time. So it is an important story if you're going to be talking about love to
But it's written
include
better
that story.
in other ways.
I agree,
Yeah.
but I understand why they did it because there's enough stories about love here that they were trying to tackle each version of it. And although
Right.
creepy or not great, it's still a
Mhm.
reality of our world, and people do feel that way.
I think the problem with like the way that the story, because the story ends where everything is like neatly tied and everything's happy, and I think
Mhm.
that specific storyline doesn't work if you're gonna like, because I don't know, Andrew Lincoln, to be like by the end, I just feel like I don't think he should like get that win at the end, to be honest.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But
you
they
should.
gotta cover. They gotta cover that restraining order, love.
But
you
they
know?
also, right?
So-
But there's also the Alan Rickman storyline where should he have gotten the pass at the end when she damn well
yeah.
knew he was cheating or at least thinking about cheating.
But I don't think he got a pass. I mean, he did in a
It
way,
damaged
but I
their
feel like
relationship, but she
it
stayed with
damaged
him.
their relationship. But again, that's what a woman, most women do because they're like, okay, I got kids, and their kids are very young, and it's like,
Mhm.
like we done built this life together, and like like I'm just gonna stop. Like, nah, like I know what's going on. He's never going to leave her. Like, you know what I mean? It's like one of those things where it was just kind of like,
I think each
you know?
one is not like strong, except maybe the Liam Neeson one seems the most
I
pure.
like the Colin Firth one where he goes after the girl.
Even the Colin Firth one for
Even
me.
the
I was just
Colin
like,
Firth one, me too. I was
as
like,
soon as
where's
he
the
started undressing, and then all of a sudden, and then he's like, and then we're just like objectifying her. It's like,
That's a fair
"Ah,
point.
come on, man.
Yeah.
We couldn't find
No,
another way around that.
that
Like,
storyline had like it has cute moments in the sense of
Right.
like her trying to speak English and him trying to speak Portuguese and like
yeah,
the
and
family
they're like
being like
saying the same
the
thing,
family,
but
you
not,
know,
like,
and that like
Uh-huh.
those moments are cute. But
Yeah.
again, I still didn't feel the connection for them to even like fall in love with each other that
Yeah.
quickly. Like it was just one of those things where it's like
Some people do.
happenstance.
Yeah, it was one of those
I
things.
never.
I don't know.
It ain't
It's-
me. I can't relate. No, I'm just-
I mean, some people
No, but I can't.
fall in love and stay together forever after
I mean,
they
it is
meet
that
for 20
movie
minutes.
love, right?
So
Yeah.
No,
it
that
does
is that
happen.
movie
It's just
love.
not.
Yeah.
It's not impossible.
It-
What about
it was a movie
what about
love.
the Bill Nighy character? The Bill Nye character.
He's hilarious. He was hilarious
He's
to me.
ridiculous.
To me,
Yeah.
they showed how media actually works because
Oh, man.
stuff
Yeah.
like that happens today. He pretty much gave up. He didn't really care anymore. And sometimes when you don't care, people flock to that more
Right.
than when you actually do care. And the fact that he was just like telling the truth, people do like truth, whether the media gives it to us or not. People do like truth. And his character was just like, I bet it was a ball playing this character for him. Like he didn't have to be all like Shakespearean and all
Yeah.
tightened up, and
Oh,
he
yeah,
didn't have to have, he didn't have to do anything. He
Well,
just had to be
Didn't
like,
he play
kinda
Victor in
creepy.
Underworld like 2 years earlier or a year earlier or something like that?
Yeah,
So like
something
he
like
played
that.
that hardcore vampire.
I think
Yeah,
it's the
yeah, yeah.
same.
It was really, really close to in time. So
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
He was also in
And
a
then-
Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then a year later or
No,
2 years
it's the
later, he
same
was
year.
playing Slarty Bartfast in
It's
The
the same
Hitchhiker's
year.
Guide.
Underworld came out in 03.
Oh,
It's the same
funny.
year.
Oh,
Underworld
really?
came out
Okay.
at the same time. Yeah.
So he got to play
So-
this character
Pretty
and
close to
that
it.
vampire either
Mhm.
right next to each
Yep.
other or one after the other.
Yeah.
or back to
Or
back.
at the,
Yeah.
or at the same
Yeah.
time if the scheduling was right. Depends on the situation.
Right.
That's always interesting. But yeah, no, then him playing Slarty Bartfast was a lot more like this character in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where he's just this aloof, weird guy. I don't know. I like that he did strip and play the guitar on live TV. I
Yeah,
thought that was
Listen,
fantastic.
if you gonna
Stuck to his word.
dare people, you better be able to
Oh yeah.
be at the end of that dare and do what you say you're just gonna do.
Yeah.
But he just, but honestly, I was okay. I know him and his manager known each other probably for like they were like probably like teens or early 20s because that's usually how that stuff goes. Like we've been rocking out this whole time. But I was like, are they a couple?
So I
because
think
I know they were showing love in like in different phases.
But
like,
I think this was like
friendships
no,
and
no,
stuff, but
no.
I was
Like this wasn't friendship
like,
love. I think
y'all-
he was like, I am gay for you,
I love
actually.
Yes, I
Yeah.
thought so too, and I was like, I love it. I was so.
But
here
I don't
for
think
it.
that Bill Nye's character Billy. I don't think Billy. I think Billy's bi, you know, because he was also like, hey, you want
he
to
was like,
watch some
women,
porn,
I was with women,
and, you know, and there were
but
women
you-
at the show.
yeah.
But
So like, I think he's
but
bi,
you don't
but I think he knew he
but
was
you
in love
don't
with
know
her.
the porn.
You
You
don't
don't know.
know.
Well, I know
That's
we don't know the porn, but he did talk about all the
I know.
sexy ladies that he could have
Yeah, I
brought
know.
with him or
I know.
whatever. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but whatever. I mean, it's great to see it.
So
but
Rock
also he was at Elton John's parties. So you just say.
For 10 minutes.
Just
And
saying.
it's like you were at Elton John's for
Yeah.
10 minutes and now
But
you're
I
gay.
love that because they both like were about to cry. He was like, "I love you," like for Christmas.
Yeah.
I was just like, "This is the love story we were waiting for."
Right.
It took too long. It was towards the end. I'm not appreciative of that, but I still enjoyed that we got it.
So all in all, sounds like it was okay.
It was a straight film. It was an okay film. If you just take away Andrew Lincoln and Keira Knightley, I'm like, this shit was amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Then what who would Chiweedle play at that point? Like who? I mean,
sure as hell, he could play. I don't know.
he was the
He could just
only
be
black
somebody-
lead in the whole film.
Or he wasn't even.
And he
a
wasn't lead.
And
He was a
he was in
sidekick.
it,
Yeah, he was
like,
in it
what?
as 2 minutes.
Yeah, like 180
I would say-
seconds.
Yeah.
Like,
I
don't
would
know.
say he might have had 3 minutes total
Yeah.
time that we saw him. And that's not even including the brief moments we saw him in that video that Creeper took. So other than that,
Right. That creeper. Sorry, Andrew. You are forever deemed the creeper on the Real Study.
you are, bro.
apparently.
I'm pretty sure he looks back on this and was like, the paycheck was
Yeah.
nice, but this
Yeah.
was that wasn't what I wanted to do.
I gotta kiss
Well,
Keira Knightley.
This
Hey,
is the one that put him on the map. I don't think Walking Dead exists without this movie. At least not for Andrew Lincoln in that way. So
right.
this is
I
the
don't know
movie
how they
put him
got
on the
that
map.
from that, but okay.
No,
I
he
know.
did other things, but he's primarily been a
I
British
can totally
actor.
see you
So like
killing
he's
zombies.
you know.
Nah, okay. They were like,
Well, he slayed her heart, huh? So he could. Yeah, it's all right.
Oh, you know
Yeah.
what? You know what? You don't get to wear that hat.
Man,
Put on your
do we
put
gotta
back on
turn
your
off the cameras
Scully.
for that one? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think I got you guys. Don't worry about
Okay,
it.
there we go.
Where's the American remake? Says Biggie.
Yeah.
We didn't need it. We had Billy Bob Thornton. We had the 5 American girls or 4 American girls with Shannon Elizabeth
yeah.
showing
Oh,
up,
Billy,
the all-American
you even
girl
said,
at the
okay,
end.
listen,
You know.
Billy Bob Thornton. The moment I saw him, I was like, Billy Bob, Sling Blade. I was like, look at him, because he's nothing else but Sling Blade to me. Because I watched that as a child, and I probably shouldn't have. But when I saw Billy Bob, and he was like, they made the president of the United States a creeper. I was like, oh, is he Clinton? I was like, he's supposed to be Clinton. I was like, who is he supposed to be? I was just like, geez Louise. I was
Well,
like,
he's
pick
not
pick
George.
a president, I guess.
It's not George who it would have been at
Just
the
not
time.
American.
And then, of
Yeah.
course, that means that Hugh Grant would have been playing Tony Blair, which I did not.
Tony Blair.
No, that's not the same thing.
Yeah.
But shout out to him for taking a stand, though. I like that. He
I
was like,
I
he was
love it
like,
when you
hit
can
on the
root for a
girl I like.
politician in a movie.
He's like, you hit on the girl I like, but then I kind of didn't. I was having mixed emotions about him as a prime minister, because it's like,
Right.
you did a good thing. You were like, I gotta cut ties, because like,
Mhm.
if this is what you're about just in your regular life, I don't want to even know what your politics is about. So like, let's not
Mhm.
even put my people in that position. And I was like, yes, sir. But then he was like, yo, fire old girl, because like I probably won't be able to control myself like the president did. So
Which
like,
is
go ahead,
good.
fire her.
That's a smart move. He
But
knew
part
to,
of me
you
is
know,
like, is it though? You make this
Yeah.
girl lose her whole career because you can't control
Because
yourself?
of you.
Like,
Yeah, that's the same energy as like, oh, she got, raped because what was she wearing? You know what I mean?
no,
It's
like
the
I
same-
So
understand.
it's like,
what
It's
he
just
was
like,
worried about
firing
from the
her.
innocent,
Don't
if we're going to
fire
take
her,
it from
that's
the
on you,
innocent
man.
side, he was literally worried
Yeah.
that he might try to cross a line with her and she would reciprocate and it would be legitimate. They both would have felt it. They had a
was
feeling.
50-50.
They
I was
they-
50-50.
there
Yeah.
obviously there was a thing because when he shows up at her house, she was like, "Yes,
Well,
I'm good to
yeah.
go."
Right.
So obviously
Yeah.
she was going to reciprocate it, and he could sense that. So he let her. He just cut ties to prevent
All right,
any
but put me in
scandals.
a different, like, put me in a different office, or put me in a different.
Yeah,
Don't
like-
make me lose my job. Like he was like disperse her somewhere else, and I was just like,
Yeah, but did
ew,
he say
bro. I
fire
was
her
like-
or get her a different position?
He didn't say give her a different position. He
Yeah, I
said,
remember,
I
yeah.
forget the terminology he used, but it sounded like it sounded like fired. It sounded like fired from my perspective.
Hmm.
It's just because my thing is this: maybe this is something I've been working towards my whole life, to work with the prime minister or like work in
Right.
the area of this, and then because you are attracted to me, I got to lose my job. Like
yeah.
that's
Like that's not my fault.
That's
Like,
not my fault. And I like.
He could have resigned his position if he really thought it that
No,
important.
or he could have just
yeah, you could
left her alone.
like exactly. Like
Left her
just
alone.
be a professional. Like holy hell. Like,
Be a
yeah.
professional.
And he ultimately
or-
did leave her alone before she left her job. He didn't do anything other than just ask her about herself a little bit. But
Right.
Before he fired her, yeah.
before he fired her. He didn't cross any lines before he fired her. I'm not defending him completely. You guys are right.
But again,
But
again,
it's-
I do like that at the end. She was like, I do like him. Like it's a thing. Like it worked out because like now it's not like a workplace type of romance.
But then he did call her fat.
But then he did call her fat. But then we could have also had a conversation while I was working for you if we were going to do this.
Right.
Let me
And
put you in another
mutually agreed
position.
to have her
Mutually
let go.
agreed
Right.
to have me
I
either
didn't
get
like that
fired
part.
or
Did they talk
transferred.
about it?
No, he just let her go.
No, he just did it. Okay, Aina said I feel he transferred her to another department. And if he did,
See, that's what I thought
that's
too.
okay. But talk to me
Right.
about it. Just don't because if I like the prime minister and I'm like, okay, we're kind of flirty. I like it. It's cool. I'm not like, and then I get transferred. I'm gonna be like, oh,
He didn't like me.
did I read that wrong? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
did I do something wrong? Like, let's have a conversation.
Or like am I gonna be in trouble now?
right? Am I
Like, is
punished
something,
because
does
of
someone
this?
know
Or
something's up or like oh yeah,
Right.
there'd be a lot of questions.
you know,
Yeah.
but it's cute because he liked her in the end and called her chubby. So I guess we should be like,
Mhm.
let's meet. So I don't know.
Moral of the story is politician, right? Remember, right? Like
Right? Yeah, man.
It is kind of the point of the story in a sense. There are still actors we haven't even talked about in this movie, and we're way into this discussion. Laura Linney
Facts.
is in this movie.
She was great.
She
I felt
really
bad for her though.
was.
She was great. She was
Let's
great.
see. Who else?
Emma Thompson.
I was like,
Emma
girl, if you don't hang
Thompson.
up the phone, if you don't hang up the phone and have sex with this man, then call your brother
Holy
back.
hell,
Like,
Laura. I know. Oh man.
But she,
but I
her
get
little
it though.
she was there
dance.
But
for
I
her
get it
brother.
though.
She's like so excited. Like
Yes,
Right.
uh-huh.
I get it though.
Yeah.
Like, dang man, I was like, but just
Trying to
tell
see
him
if
what the
there's
deal
anybody
is,
else.
and maybe he
Yeah.
can rock with you with it. But she never. I was like,
she seems pretty understanding for the
no,
most part.
right?
Right.
And he just didn't know what to say to her. He was like, Merry Christmas.
I mean it's
Yeah.
yeah, like
Let's rate this film. Let's rate it. Lala.
I give it a 7. It was
How much-
nice. I would probably watch it again, but it's not. It wouldn't be something I go back to a lot. But it was 7. It was a 7. Like you said, Snitty, I liked how I could see the people that were connected and how they connected. So I enjoy that aspect. There was some fat shaming and some other stuff that was going on that was perfectly legitimate in 03. I ain't like it, but 7.
All right. How about you, Tyler?
I'm gonna give it a 6. Well, actually, I'm gonna give it a 7.
He's just like, I think he writes these down before the show.
I
He's
do
ready
have
for
it.
them. So
He's like,
I
let me
love
show you
it.
my notebook with all of
Mhm.
my.
puns, my pun notebook.
the real
this movie,
puns.
like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I'm just in a different place. I don't watch a whole lot of rom-coms to begin with, but like this movie was like not it. I feel like if I watch it again, my numbers will just keep going down.
So it's a 6. Next time it'll be a 5 and
That's
then a
totally
4.
fair.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
That's
about
not
you,
where
Brian?
I'm at.
Kinda
I'm
with
like, if
you.
I watch it again, it'd be 6.
Yeah,
Oh,
just start
5,
I
please.
just start ripping it apart more.
No, for
like,
sure.
Yeah.
How about you, Brian?
Yeah, it's a 6. And I do actually really enjoy rom. And
Me too.
I think the era of the early 2000s, I mean, we could probably do a whole thing like of like how problematic that era of rom
era was,
actually
yeah.
is.
From 95 to 2010.
Yeah.
Was bad.
Right.
Sucks.
so
I was-
I mean,
I would
before that
even
was
say-
obviously bad too, but like,
I would even say like maybe 2015. Like I would just say like,
I mean, there's still
no.
some stuff, but like,
there's still
there was a
some- yeah.
point when Fanboys came out is where I kind of like, there's like 2007-ish where you
Yeah.
could say anything you wanted in a movie and it was taken as a joke. And
Oh, yeah.
that was just the way it was then. So it was almost like if you didn't, were you being edgy enough or something? I don't know. It's what it
Don't
felt like.
forget,
Right.
Biggie, we can veto you out. So just a reminder.
That's true. Now, and once a show or once a movie's been done on the Real Study, there would be only a specific reason for us to revisit it.
Y'all
So, like, if it gets a sequel and it's contextual, so generally
or
speaking,
maybe we watch other blending films and we just can't help but put this one in there. But
Right.
no. Don't know about that, sir.
I'm gonna agree with a
Yeah.
6 because I did like this a lot more when it came out. I think I would have given it an
Yes.
8 when it came out, but I think 6 is appropriate. Where, yeah, sure, I think anybody should give it a shot. It's a great cast, as you said. The acting is terrific. The sets, the production are all fantastic. They do a great job.
Yeah.
It's a
And I
well-made
will say
movie.
they did a pretty good job of like, it's a hard thing to do to try to like weave a lot
Yeah.
of these stories together. And I thought that aspect they did a pretty good job with.
Right. No, if you
At
took
least,
each one of these stories apart, you're talking 7 minutes, 10 minutes
Yeah.
per storyline tops.
Yeah.
So that's tricky
crazy.
to make it make sense and
Yeah.
have fun with it to the end.
Mhm.
There aren't that many of these that do a good job of that. So I'm with
Yeah.
you.
And it
all
was
right.
great because Martin Freeman and his girl knew the guy that knew the guy
Yeah.
that went
The
to
guy
went to
from
America.
right?
And I was like, wait a minute, like because to
Wait,
me
isn't he
that's
the
why I
lighting
get
guy? He was the lighting guy. Yeah.
he's a lighting
Yeah,
guy. So
uh-huh.
like to me, that's why I got a 7 because one, I like the interconnectivity of it, but then I also thought the acting was great. No matter how problematic this stuff was, to me, the acting was great, and also everybody wasn't like conventionally beautiful or attractive. You know what I mean? Like everybody was like, people were pretty, but nobody was like so overly pretty that I was like, this don't make
Except
sense.
for all the
This don't-
American girls.
Right.
Not. And listen here, I know the actresses, but to me, even they were like, I was like, that's kind of basic, but it's cool. it's cool.
That's
It's
fair.
cool.
They were supposed to be the like above
No, they were supposed to
average.
be because what's her name? Alicia Cuthbert was in there, and I was like, if you didn't know who she was,
Yeah. Shannon
Denise
Elizabeth,
Richards,
January
Shannon
Jones.
shows up.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. So I was like, they're beautiful. Don't get me
Yes,
wrong,
Shannon
but
Elizabeth.
also they weren't like. This was like later, like earlier in their career, so like they weren't like
This
as
was
beautiful, I guess, as they are now.
mid-career for some of them. I would
Yeah,
say
so,
Denise
like, they weren't-
Richards, like this was on her way down.
Yeah,
Everybody just kind of
she'd
looked
already done a Bond
human
movie
to me.
right then.
Like
And she
Emma
had already
Thompson looked
done
human.
Wild
Well, she looked
Things,
great to
and
me.
Shannon Elizabeth
Yeah.
had already done all the American Pies by this point. And,
Right.
Shout out to Wild Things. That movie was wild.
and full of
Hey.
things. It's really weird. how
Yes,
that
it was.
happens.
It was crazy.
Let's move on to the next movie. This is Last Holiday, which, as it turns out, is a remake of an Alec Guinness movie called Last Holiday, where a gentleman plays George Bird, while Queen Latifah in this movie plays Georgia Bird. Those are where the similarities all but end. The concept of the story,
I love
of the
it.
story is the same. Person's gonna die.
Right.
They go to spend the rest of their money on the most extravagant time of their life. So that's the same
Yeah.
concept, but after that, it's kind of its own thing. Why don't we start with Tyler, because you did get a chance to watch this one. What did you think of Last Holiday?
I think this isn't my favorite out of the two that I watched, but I was surprised. Like again, like I'm not like totally into those kinds of like movies, but it was nice to like I've been watching a lot of like A24, so there's all the art house stuff, and it was cool to find like get a movie that was I don't want to say it's basic, but like the structure of it is very conventional.
Basic.
Like I know what's gonna happen. Like I knew by the end I was like she's not gonna really die, and like and it's cool.
Right.
Like
Spoilers.
did I cry? I did a little bit. Specifically, like anytime I think like Queen Latifah, I can't remember any of her lines, but like some of the things that she was saying, like
Was it when she was at the table looking at the book?
yeah, maybe it was that, or I just like watching her connections with like and just that storyline of this person who's like just enjoying life, and then just ends up like it goes out to everybody that she comes into contact with.
Right. Yeah.
The snowboarding scene was. I was joking with my girlfriend because there was, how like they use a stunt double, right? At one point, I was like, "That's a dude, right?" There's no, I don't know. There was something that didn't look
No,
right.
for sure.
The way he moved his arms when he was trying to balance, I think, is
Yeah,
accurate.
it was like her voiceover, but like the guy was like, she was like, "Ooh," but he looked like a professional.
It was like a super clean voiceover.
Oh, you can see it. You can see it every time they pulled back, and it was like a wide shot of her, like a long shot of her. You could tell it was like somebody else because she would literally like move in a way that's like that's what snowboarders do, and then they pop back up. I was like, interesting, like watching it now was kind of like I was like, this is that ain't bad. They could have did this better.
I also got like there's some parts that were like upsetting too. I was like, these rich people, man, they would say stuff like that, say that like shit. Like his whole owning thing was like, she works in retail as a sales associate. I was like, okay, what a jerk.
What an elitist scumbag,
But I still
right?
got money though, so
Right, tons of it apparently.
Yeah. And the whole thing is like, you guys all just made these stories up in your own head.
Right. She never
She
said
never
any of
said
these things.
anything.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh,
Yeah.
that's the thing that really bugged me. It was like when they were sitting down with her at the
I was
table,
yelling
like,
at the screen at that
he's, like,
point.
calling
I was
her out.
like,
I know, I'm
you
like,
didn't do this.
what?
You know,
Yeah.
It bugged me. How about you,
That's
Brian? Was this
hilarious.
your first time with Last Holiday?
Yeah, it was my first time. Oh.
I love it.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. It was like I agree with a lot with what Tyler said. You know, like I kind of figured like, okay, there's no way she's gonna but it was great like to see that she, like, the theme is, you know, a great theme. Like it's kind of like, also it's kind of a thing of like, to me, how like terrible, just another example of how terrible capitalism is. Like we have to like work ourselves to death almost literally,
Hmm.
you know, and not live out these things that we want to try to live out. And she is finally free of this idea of like, oh, I'm just gonna do what I want. And then she spreads this joy and this like connection to all these people that she doesn't even know. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's such a great,
Just by living life.
yeah, exactly, right? Like just being her
And
full
honestly,
self.
just being her full
Like,
self. Yeah.
yeah.
Like her entire self. Yeah.
Yeah. And like the cinematography is not like, you know, like great or anything. It's just standard, pretty much like really lit, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, just standard comedy cinematography.
Mhm.
But like she was really great. I mean, it's kudos to her for like commanding a whole, you know, film. I've rarely seen her in like a lead role. Like I've seen her like in supporting roles, you know. I mean, like Set It Off. If you know, you know. I mean, Set It
Yeah,
Off is
for
freaking
sure.
phenomenal.
Mm.
I have a story about Set It Off. Like I worked in the movie theater when it came out, and we used to do. It was insane. We used to do this canned food night where like it was like a charity event. You would bring a certain amount of cans of food and you get a free movie ticket. It was slammed every single year. For some reason, Set It Off was especially lively, and someone was like acting up in that movie and like claimed they was like a weapon or something, and like everyone just like it was like freaking pandemonium.
So he literally set it off.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know
But
what? It's time for
it's
you
a
to go,
really great
Tyler.
it's a
Time
really
to go.
great movie, and Queen Latifah is great in that, the whole cast. But so it was great to see her and like command a whole, you know, on her own, and all these other characters are kind of caricatures of things. But yeah, it was enjoyable. It was a nice watch. I don't know. It was nice because I didn't really have to like fully like immerse myself in it. You know what I mean? Like I could just like kind of check out and just like,
And then come back in and you're like,
yeah,
oh, okay, this stuff
yeah,
happened.
right.
Cool. You just keep going.
yeah.
I like movies like that, really, where my brain doesn't
Oh
like
yeah, no, you
work
need,
overtime for it. I'm
yeah.
just enjoy something.
Well, we have different weeks here on the Real Study. You know, we'll talk about Enemy and
Oh, no,
Prisoners,
totally.
and then we'll turn
Yeah.
around and just have some fun rom-coms,
Yeah.
just to blend it up a little bit.
Not do another Denny Villeneuve for a little bit.
It's too much. Too much.
No, for sure.
How about
For
you,
sure.
Lala? Was this your first time Last Holiday? Second? 10th?
15.
Sure.
20th?
No, listen, my entire life, let me give you some background on me, okay? My entire life, people have been comparing me to Queen Latifah and saying that I look
really?
like her. My entire life.
Will you take the glasses
was
off
in-
so we can see?
I don't think I look like her at all. Like at all.
I don't think so
I do.
either.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's because my face is round.
Mhm.
Her face is round. So people, and then also, you know, you didn't see like bigger women on screen growing up. So it's like they immediately put her and me together. Like I remember being in elementary during recess and people would yell across the thing, "Don't set it off.
Oh, wow.
Don't set
Oh no.
So I have no choice but to love
Funny.
Queen Latifah because
Yeah.
like but also I love Queen Latifah because I've been watching her since like she was on Fresh Prince, she was on then did Living Single, and then like I
Oh,
watched
yeah,
her
Living Single
career
too. Yeah, I
and
did
stuff
watch
like
her in
that.
Living
So like
Single. Yeah.
I love me some Queen Latifah. I did probably seen like every movie that she's been in. Probably seen them all.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorites because one, I love that she's like the lead, right? I love
Yeah.
that she's the lead. And I also love that her weight is never talked about in the entire
Yeah.
movie.
Mhm.
Well, it is
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a sense, but from Gerard Depardieu, and he talks about how he loves to see her look healthy and eat a full
That's
meal,
true.
and
Yeah.
but it's a positive,
Well, positive, yeah,
right,
like
a
like
positive
there's no
reference, which was
there's
great.
no negative, there's no
There's not like a
negative
shaming
references,
element
Right.
right?
to it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
There's no, because the moment she walks through the door and she's in that red, even
Oh, yeah.
the Congress dude was like, okay, sister, like you looking,
Yeah.
and it's never about her weight. It's never about like, it's about, hey, you want to eat? Let's go. I
Yeah.
love a woman that likes to eat, and like watching this movie as like a young plus size girl, I was just like, but I like to eat too.
That
And
food
Queen
looked good,
Latifah
too.
can
That food
eat.
was really good.
Listen
Oh man, I
here.
know that food. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Listen,
did.
they were like, no dairy, no this. If I was ever in a hotel like that and like Emerald came and he cooks, you listen, I don't eat pork or beef, but if bro got beef stock, pork stock, or anything, I'm gonna eat it because like
Right.
it's Emerald, and
It's
like
coming
DDA
from,
is a
yeah.
great chef too. So like I would do that kind of stuff too. But I love this film because one, it's just beautiful. To me, it's just like magic in a bottle, magic in a film. It's a film that you can just sit back. It's not like a huge plot that you couldn't pay attention to.
Yeah.
It's not something you couldn't grasp. It was just like a simple story about a person who needed to come out of their shell because they are an amazing person, and they needed to see that they were an amazing person. And then all these hijinks happen because Queen Latifah loves hijinks in her films, and I have no problem with that. If you've seen Taxi, that's the hijinkiest film.
Wasn't that the last
I'm
Jimmy
telling you.
Fallon movie before he? No. Anyway.
No, I think
It might
it might
have
have been Pitch Perfect. No, wait. Whatever the baseball movie he did with Drew Barrymore. I think
Oh,
I don't know
Fever
which one came
Pitch.
first. Fever Pitch. There it is. I'm like, Pitch Perfect. But I
It was
don't know
one
whose
of
pitch was
those
in there.
two,
It was
but
one of those two. Like it's
yeah.
one of those two. But like this was just great. It was just beautiful. The clothes she wore, everything was just everything was just beautiful to me. I just love it. Like I will say, I can tell that this is like anytime I watch it and she's at the table and she's crying and she was just like, I should have ate that. Should have ate that.
Right?
She's at the table.
That I
she's
feel
I
like would
shoulda
be
ate
me
that.
if I had 3 weeks. I'd be like, why did I stop eating
No.
bacon? Why did I stop?
Exactly.
No. Yeah.
Exactly. She was making this beautiful food and then she was eating lean cuisine.
I know she
Mind you,
made it
that's
for
one-
her nephew, and then would just
Man.
That's one plot. That's one plot of. I don't think that was her nephew. I just think that was her neighbor.
really. Oh, that is her
I think
neighbor.
that was
Good
her.
point.
That was just her neighbor that she
Yeah.
just like they just became like cool or whatever. And then she made
Right.
food for the grandmother as well, which just shows you how caring, how loving she is. This was around the time that L Cool J was getting back into acting, so seeing him in this was nice. Then also just seeing two black people and like liking each other and loving each other is nice for me because usually if it's a black woman lead and she's in a relationship, it's always with somebody white or somebody that's non-black.
Or
And
something
the same
negative.
goes for like or something negative, or it's like, or if it's a black man and they're in a relationship, it's never with a black woman. It's always like she the white or Asian or something like. It's always something.
And he literally went to the ends of the earth for her.
Come on, I said one. I said, can we get a Craig and Tier? Because how y'all affording to go? Like, I know how she's
like what? Yeah, I was thinking that too.
I
Like,
get how
would
she
you guys do
afforded it because I get how she afforded it because like she cashed in her IRA.
Right,
Plus
right.
the guy made a note. The guy said this to her that I've never paid attention to. He goes, well, somebody as responsible as you. So that means that she saves up her money. She doesn't spend too much. Like she does. Like she probably pinches pennies and all that kind of stuff.
Well, we know she
has all
uses
this
coupons.
money.
She uses coupons all the time.
Coupons all the time. So like she has all this money that she can just do things with. But L Cool J character, I was like, baby boy, how you afford this?
He was charging a lot on his credit cards. That's all I gotta say.
I was like, that's cool then. But then it all worked out because she ended up getting this successful place. So like, the debt gets paid off. But I love this film, man. I could talk about this film all day because I just feel like somebody that looks like Queen Latifah doesn't get. It's like only one Queen Latifah gets that type of appreciation. Like if you really think about it, like her stretch when she was coming out with all these movies, like Bring It Down the House and all these movies, it was just her. There was nobody else that looked like her, and I just felt like okay, give more people that look like her a shine. And now we have like Nicole Byer and we have like other actors and stuff like that that's kind of like coming and doing this stuff. But like Queen Latifah is tops for me, man. I don't think she can ever do anything where I'm like, I'll fight for her every step of the way. People was talking shit about her when she became the Equalizer, and they were like, well, Denzel Washington. I said, Denzel Washington, 100 years old, and y'all was okay with him karate chopping people in front of and I was like, but Queen Latifah can't do it because of what? Because she's a female? Because I don't get it.
Because she's in her 50s. Oh no, big deal.
You know what I mean? I was like, this crazy, but I love this film. This film was just beautiful, and it's a little couple of acting like hiccups that you could tell people are like new.
Yeah,
but I don't
kind of
really
felt the way about
care.
LL Cool J's performance. I felt he was a little stiff.
Yeah.
Like, well, like you mentioned, he was trying to get back into it, so maybe he was still like
Yeah.
knocking.
But LL
So I
Cool
think
J
he
did
was
that
scared.
one scene where after she hits her head and to go to the hospital and she's kind of like drowsy. That was my favorite from him. He was like, I was like, LL Cool J is going all the way for this one. Like,
This,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I liked about that too, right? Because let's be honest, she is a taller, like not even like bigger in
Yeah.
like weight and size. She's a taller woman. She's tall, and they're about the same height essentially. Like he might be like a touch taller than her, but he's like the same height. So when he put her over the shoulder, I never paid attention to this. And he's walking and he stops and he was like, and then he kept going. But I actually like that because like I don't care how small you are, a human is a human, and a person that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
dead weight,
Dead weight is
dead
dead
weight
weight.
human.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Even somebody that's 90 pounds wet, dead weight is about
Toddlers are
100.
heavy
Like,
when they're dead weight. I'm telling
man,
you,
I know.
Oh
like
my
that is a reality.
God.
So
Oh my God. But to me, that was just like, I was like, it seemed very human. It seemed like something natural that a person would do. I just
Yeah.
think it was funny that those girls who came up on off the escalator wasn't like more concerned or why this man was just carrying this woman over his shoulder. But you know, it was fine with me.
you're
was
whatever
great.
it is.
This was a great movie. And I loved all the characters. I just love how she changed people subtly,
So-
just with being nice. So yeah.
Before I give my take, did anybody
Yes,
else
sir.
find it interesting that the department store had an actual clinic, and in that clinic was an MR or a CAT scan machine? Did anybody pick up on that?
Was
Wait,
that
say it
in-
again?
Yeah, because they even
Say
at
it
the end when they give the note about, I said there's a CAT scan machine in the department store's clinic for their employees.
Yes.
And they even at
Yes.
the end, they talk about when they send the fax saying she's fine, it even on the letterhead talks about the name of the department store. So like it was their clinic.
I
that
mean, I know
Yeah, it was
misdiagnosed
their
her.
yeah, it was
justifying
their
it, right?
clinic.
Yeah, that is
Like,
Yeah.
because the CAT scan machine was a department store CAT scan machine, so it wasn't that good. Like,
Right.
And,
But they
and
had
I
the
feel
money
like that
for her
place
to
was-
make gourmet food for the customers. So I'm like,
Yeah.
where are
true.
their priorities?
But no,
Macy's
but my thing,
Macy's
but
has
my
better
thing is,
MRI machines.
but here's the thing though, I don't
Yeah.
even think they had the money
get those
for it
Macy's
because
stores.
remember when she was doing it, the guy came up to her and was like, we don't pay to do this. We just pay to do like little. I feel like she probably brought in more
Yeah.
Yeah,
to
she took
do
it upon herself to
because
do
they
that.
cheat and they not because look at the CAT scan machine, they cheat, and
Right.
then two, her service, her place is the only place that's actually making money.
Right. Right.
So I feel
Yeah.
like she's doing that, like they're not doing it. I feel like she's
So overall, it was fine. It's fun.
Mhm.
It's good. I
Mhm.
like anything with sentimentalness, anything that makes me potentially have feels. I like those kinds of movies. I think the part that really got to me the most was when she was back in choir in church and Giancarlo
that scene?
Esposito was
Yeah.
supposed to show up and didn't. And that
Mhm.
him not showing up didn't have anything to do with this, but she literally spoke out for the first, she was loud in choir for the first
Yeah.
time saying, why
Mhm.
me? And I love how the preacher and the entire congregation just backed her up in a split second and was like,
Mhm.
why me, Lord? And they just all started singing that. I was like, now that is community. I swear that if this were a white church, they would have been like, excuse me, you need to be quiet. The preacher's talking. And they would have made her sit down. But I don't, in this church, that wasn't the way. And I loved it. The other scene that stood out to me was when they did reveal that she was just a retail person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I liked how everybody was like, screw you, dude. You literally just made these assumptions, because she did spend the whole time just
Yeah.
being herself and never spent a moment explaining who she was, because she didn't feel she needed to. And I agree.
Didn't
I think
have
it was
to,
great that she
yeah.
didn't have to. Giancarlo Esposito showing up in this movie before he became the ultimate bad guy that we know him now,
Mhm.
right? Where he's like
Yeah.
everybody's go-to bad guy.
Yeah.
You're like, you want a bad guy? Giancarlo, like that's the guy you gotta call
Mhm.
up. But in this, he plays the sweetest dude, and it's weird seeing that in juxtaposition to like Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Overall,
But
I think there were some story points that really bothered me. Timothy Hutton's character kept being upset for simple comedic reasons. They kept stretching that a
his
little
motivation's a
harder
little,
than maybe they should have. And then there were things like the little white girl asking about, could you really tell that I was cheating on him? I'm like, she caught you cheating on with like, what do you mean? I didn't understand that, because she walked in the elevator, they're kissing, and then she
Yeah.
later goes, how did you know? And it's like,
no, I
you
don't. No,
literally
I
caught
think it
me.
was. Well, no, I think it was more so she was asking like, is it that obvious? Like for like not so much that she caught them, but it's like, is it obvious that other people? And then because like after she said that, she goes like, well, that makes sense because the women at the office don't talk to me. Like she thought she was hiding it, because like this is a place where she
That's a
doesn't
good
have to
point.
hide. Essentially,
Right.
she doesn't have to hide here. But like she's like, okay, I'm doing what I usually do, like in the office, and people still kind of caught on. Like, well, shit, okay, is it that obvious? Because at work they don't talk to me, and I think that's the reason.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't think she was asking her if she, if she caught your ass in the.
I did like that scene where she told her where Georgia was like, you know, he's never going to leave his wife. I like that because a lot of characters don't lay it out.
Yeah,
and they
but also like that she defended the masseuse. She was like, "Don't be yelling at Brigida like that."
Right.
She's like, she a worker, she working hard. She was like, ain't her. But this is what you don't see, because like most of the time when the last holiday comes out, it's like on like TNT or TBS, so like they cut stuff or they like they end scenes earlier than they need to and stuff like that. So the scene where she was like, it's obvious that your neck hurt because you keep going down on Mr. Blanket, and I was like, I've never heard that line before.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I was like, oh shit, she was getting real in this movie. So I kind of like that too. She was just like, you've been sucking his dick a lot. So
there was kind of an anti-elite aspect to this film. There was a very pro-worker, pro-small business.
Yep.
They build their own business at the end, her own bistro. It's very small, which the mayor shows up to, which I really like that. But I was a little upset that that the senator didn't show up and then the congressman didn't show up for her opening. Just the mayor and, you know, what is the cook's name?
Yeah.
I always forget
I'm
that
okay
guy's
with
name.
that. Ooh, Timothy Hutton?
No, the real life cook that was in the movie. I always forget his name.
DDA?
No,
DDA?
it starts with an I.
Emerald Lagasse.
Emerald Lagasse, that's the one.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. If you couldn't tell, I'm little something. You know, bam. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say. I was wondering when somebody was gonna do that.
I'm sorry. He's right here. I had to get it out.
Gerard Depardieu always has like a charm about him. I really like that he's charming, even though this was one of the last movies I think I've seen him do. He hasn't been doing a lot lately. Right. Of course, he's always done a lot of French films. So
he has a vulnerability to him that I like, love. Like, because I felt like there were times where he was gonna cry, and I believed it. I was just like, ugh. Like, oh my God, don't get me emotional.
Like, he straight up came up and was like, you don't have to explain yourself to these people. And I loved that. I love that he was with her from the beginning. The moment that they had a passion for food together.
Listen, the moment she ordered all that food, he was like, how many people? He was like, one. He was like, who? Let me go see who this is.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I don't blame her. If I had the money, if I went to a famous place and I had the money, because like places like that they don't do the same food every single day. Like, they don't do the same. It's always gets switched up. I'd been like, all right, give me all the food then. Because if you eat a little bit from each, you'll be full. All right.
Right. And then just bag the rest up and take it up to the, presidential suite's got to have a stove. It's got to have a fridge. I just can't imagine that it wouldn't have all of that. So yeah.
This might be a little nitpicky, but the part where he's like, oh, you don't have to explain yourself to him. And then there's this thing in like those like conventional movies where characters will say something and then they're standing in the background for a moment and then they just exit. Like,
and he did that. Like, he did just turn around and walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a weird one.
I want to do that like in real life. Just make it just even more awkward. Just like,
but stand 15 feet over there, right? Not really leave, just sort of leave, right?
Yeah.
But we were talking to you. Yeah, but I didn't want to keep interrupting. I'm sorry.
I was finished with that. I wouldn't say.
Right, exactly.
I think I took it as he was too emotionally charged to stand there as she defended herself, because that's essentially what she did. She was like, he was like, you don't have to do this. And she was just like, it's okay. He was just like, I can't take this. And he just fucked away.
Right. Because he was coming in with like, I'm going to go at 110 and then nothing happened. So he's like, oh, okay, well.
Yeah.
I had a whole speech. But...
Yeah.
All right.
Stop taking my words, Nitty. Jeez.
What, the oh damn? Oh, you said well damn. Yeah. Yeah, apparently we're seeing in the chat all the negative things about everyone. Apparently Timothy Hutton's had some controversy. Gerard Depardieu was just indicted
I was
for rape.
So Timothy Hutton is in Leverage, which is shot here, Portland. And I've heard stories that he's like an asshole in real life. Like, when it comes to
Yeah. And he also has like I think he has like sexual harassment allegations and stuff like that against him too, which is why they killed him off in Leverage Redemption.
For me,
he won't come back for that.
I'm just going to assume most people do nowadays and just start finding out that they don't have sexual assault allegations.
Right.
Because there's so many.
Like,
oh, they don't. Okay, cool. They're not an awful human. Okay,
there's...
good. Yeah, and don't be sorry to tell us the truth about the folks they're
Oh
actors.
yeah,
We're talking about
exactly.
their jobs.
Mhm.
This is no different than critiquing the McDonald's drive-in person.
No, for
Yeah.
sure. You're good, Betsy. You're
So,
good.
Right.
We
You're
just
good.
don't get to hear about their sexual allegations. Like that's the difference.
No facts.
And if I did, I'd
That
stop
actually
going
just
to
makes
certain
him
McDonald's.
like way more awful in the movie now that it's
Right.
No, like
in
for
a
real.
weird way, yeah, it
Mhm.
does.
No, for real.
So, but,
It
we
almost
like to be
stops me
real.
from watching Leverage all over again, but there's like 4 other people in that show that I enjoy. So
Right.
it's just like he's just
Right.
a part of it. So,
And that's where the problem always comes. This is something that we've talked about many times on the show. There, even with Last Holiday, even if there's 2 terrible people that are actors in the film, there are tons of people that did great things to make this movie,
Mhm.
and they all deserve their credit. Every grip, every key, everybody deserves the credit, and that's what we're trying to uplift.
you
is the
got to
film.
separate the actor from the character that they play.
Right. If you
The
want to, at
musician
least
from the music that they
right.
play. Yeah.
At least if
That's
you
the
want
one
to talk
thing.
about the rest of the people. If it's a band, it's a little easier because if it's like a 2-piece band and they're both crap, screw the band. We don't care about
Yeah.
the band.
No, for sure.
But if it's 10,000 people or 5,000 people working on a project and one person sucks,
Yeah, it's
you
like,
know,
come on now.
so
Like, you can't, yeah.
Mhm.
that's just my
Do
take.
what you feel. Do
Exactly.
what you feel.
That's the
do
best
what
way
you
to
feel.
put it.
Because that's my take too. My take is this: I separate because if that's the case, I can't watch nothing. I can't play nothing. I can't eat
Right.
food nowhere. I can't buy clothes nowhere because like it's something everywhere,
Right.
And so hopefully whatever I'm doing or however I'm like curbing what I do, hopefully it's helping other people like around them, and not. I know it's gonna help that person, but still like actually me and Marley had a conversation about this because we were talking about Hogwarts Legacy. And I was like, I can't wait to buy that game because like it's an RPG game. It's like it's very open world. I'm like, I've always wanted to go to Hogwarts, so now I get to go to Hogwarts. You know what I mean? It's very interactive. And he's like, well, yeah, but JK. And I was like, I understand that she might get profits from it, but there's a billion other people that like did mocap and that design this, and it's not. It's about her world, but she doesn't have direct lineage to it. Like she might get a profit because it's about her world, but I'm like, it's other people that. I was like, buy the game, man,
It's
and
tough.
have a good time.
It's a
It
tricky
is tough.
thing.
That's why I say, do what you feel.
Because
Do
she
what you feel.
funnels her money to like terrible shit
True.
too. So it's like that's like
It's tricky.
True.
yeah. With movies, with a movie, it's I don't know if it's hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The people who worked on the game deserve to get paid. And that's honestly what I
Yep.
look like. That's honestly how I look at it. Just like what Ray said. Like that's honestly how I look at it because it's her world, but she has no influence really on the game. Like they didn't go to her and have a conversation with her and be like, we're gonna do this in the game, we're gonna do that. And these people that created it deserve just as much respect from what they
Right.
did as she used to get. You know what I mean? So it's just like
So
it kind of sucks.
to me,
But,
there's a solution to this. They just need to do 7 or 8 more seasons of Wednesday and really build out that school, and then we'll have another Hogwarts to play with, and we won't have to worry about it. So, just a thought. Not that there aren't tons of problems with Tim Burton, but that's a whole nother discussion. So, do you guys want to rate Last Holiday and move on to the pre-review and the final film, and then we can get on to holiday
you go
season?
first. You go first, Snitty. What's your rating?
Hey, Last Holiday. I will give it. Will I ever watch this movie again? I'm gonna give it a 6 because I probably won't. Mostly because it is. I saw it, and I can say, yeah, if you like a good, fun rom-com and you want some, just a fun, good time, go for it and watch it. But I don't think I'm gonna seek this out or make it a yearly deal. So, and this was Aina's request, so I'm glad we were able to watch this at her request. So, why don't we go backwards? How about you, Brian?
Yeah, I'm gonna say 7 for me. Yeah, it was a nice, easy watch. It was fun, enjoyable, and I like the theme. And it had some good moments in it. And but yeah, I think it's one of those like I don't know if I'll like seek it out again, but it was a good one.
All right. How about you, Tyler?
I'm gonna give it an 8. Like, yeah, I was honestly pleasantly surprised. I thought it was just gonna be like another like conventional watch or whatever, but I think having seen so many art films and stuff back to back, like this was a nice, easy watch.
Palate
Queen
cleanser.
Latifah is awesome. Yeah.
I was gonna say your
Latifah was
movie
awesome.
ginger, if you will. Sorry.
Yeah, like this would definitely. I think this is probably gonna be on like when I think of Christmas movies. Like this will be one that I'll probably watch again.
All right.
If I can.
Sweet. I like it. And
I kind of
La,
want to cry off of that. He's gonna watch it. He's gonna continue.
how about
Sorry,
you,
got a
La?
little emotional. I give this an 8.5. This is one of my films, man. Like I watched this it's not something that I seek out, but it's something that finds me all the time. And when it does find me, I'm happy to be there for it. I'm like, you know what? I will watch you. How about that? I will partake in your nice digestible plot and your fun characters.
Why do I get the feeling that Lala has a physical copy and she's like, I'm going to watch you tonight, okay? You have such a great runtime. I really enjoy your plot.
You do, man. that hour 37 or something it is. I'm like, that's a solid runtime.
152. 152.
Yeah.
Okay,
Almost
you
2
gave
hours
me-
for a rom-com is a long time.
But you gave me what I needed, and maybe a little bit more, and I'm fine with that.
Right.
Yeah, I give it an A5. It's just, to me, it's just a solid watch. It's not something that you have to overly be invested in, but it's something that kind of sneaks up on you in certain spots that you didn't think it would. And for me, Queen Latifah as a lead is always top. She always brings a type of like humility and comedy, like a softness to her roles, no matter what she does in my book. So like, I love it.
So you said softness and rolls, and all I can think about is Christmas dinner now. That said, we are going to roll right into the pre-review. Thank you, BlindBiggie, as always, for always putting this together, and we can't wait to see what you have this week. Here we go.
The pre-review with BlindBiggie. The pre-review with BlindBiggie.
Welcome to the pre-review. I'm your host, BlindBiggie. The pre-review is where I tell you about upcoming films coming to movie theaters and beyond. This is for December 19th through 25th. Today we're starting with the animated comedy adventure Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Puss in Boots discovers that his passion for adventure has taken its toll. He has burnt through 8 of his 9 lives. Puss sets out on an epic journey to find the mythical Last Wish and restore his 9 lives. Of course, this movie stars Antonio Banderas as Puss, and you have Salma Hayek and Florence Pugh in this, amongst others. From the trailer alone, I can tell you I already love the animation style, and this is just going to be a great, fun story for everybody to enjoy. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish comes out in theaters December 21st. Next up is the drama comedy Babylon. Decadence, depravity, and outrageous excess lead to the rise and fall of several ambitious dreamers in 1920s Hollywood. And this movie stars Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, Tobey Maguire, amongst a slew of fantastic actors. After watching the trailer, I can tell you this movie looks spectacular, and I cannot wait to watch it. Babylon, starring Brad Pitt, comes out December 23rd in movie theaters. This next one I've been waiting for a little bit. I Want to Dance with Somebody. This is a dramatic musical biopic inspired by the life of Whitney Houston. Discovered by record executive Clive Davis, Whitney Houston rises from obscurity to international fame in the 1980s to become one of the greatest singers of her generation. And this movie stars Naomi Ackie, Ashton Sanders, and Stanley Tucci. I've always loved Whitney Houston. This will be a fantastic watch. I Want to Dance with Somebody premieres in movie theaters December 23rd. Next up is the German historical drama Corsage. Faced with a future of strict ceremonies and royal duties, Empress Elizabeth of Austria rebels against her public image and comes up with a plan to protect her legacy. Now, this movie stars Vicky Krieps. This movie looks to be a good watch. Corsage premieres in limited release in movie theaters December 23rd. Next is another one I've been looking forward to, The Pale Blue Eye. In this horror mystery, veteran detective Augustus Landor investigates a series of grisly murders with the help of a young cadet who will eventually grow on to become the world-famous author, Edgar Allan Poe. This movie stars Christian Bale, Henry Melling, Gillian Anderson, Lucy Boynton, and Robert Duvall, amongst others. I can already tell you this movie's my jam because of the way it looks alone. The Pale Blue Eye premieres in limited release in movie theaters December 23rd, and then on Netflix January 9th. And last on my list is the drama Women Talking. Women in an isolated religious colony struggle to reconcile with their faith after a series of sexual assaults. This movie stars Claire Foy, Rooney Mara, Jessie Buckley, Frances McDormand, and Ben Whishaw. This movie is a period piece, has a fantastic cast, and I can't wait to give it a watch. Women Talking premieres in limited release in movie theaters December 23rd. Well, it looks like that's all for the pre-review for the rest of the year. There's not really much else coming out. I do wish you and your family a happy holiday season. Hope to see you out there.
And happy holidays to you too, Blind Biggie. We appreciate everything you do for the Real Study.
Yes,
and
we
do check him out on all social media platforms, including TikTok, Instagram,
Twitter.
Not Twitter.
He's not on Twitter? I thought he was. My bad,
axed
Biggie.
Twitter because of that douchey guy.
Oh, okay.
So we
My bad.
understand and respect that decision.
I didn't know he was gone. My fault, Biggie.
Yeah, no, I looked and I had less followers. I was like, what's going on? Oh, that's right, Blind Biggie left. So we are going to move on to the final movie of the night, which is The Best Man Holiday. This is, of course, a sequel to The Best Man from 1999, which is got an all-star cast as well. Taye Diggs is, of course, playing Harper, who is the main character. What did you say?
Brian said Sticks.
I didn't say Stack. Did I? I didn't say Stack this time.
Brian,
Okay,
Brian did.
Okay.
Brian did. He was like Stack. In the back. So good. Sorry. That was the word of the day, man.
It is the word of the day. It is the word of the day. So we've got Taye Diggs, we've got Morris Chestnut, we've got Terrence Howard, Regina Hall, let's see, Nia Long. Those are the biggest names, I would say, and then a great cast otherwise. But this movie is a continuation of the previous film. So Lala, do you want to give us a quick 1 minute synopsis of The Best Man so that we can get people caught up to this?
Okay, so The Best Man that came out in 1999 is about a group of friends who either they all went to college together, and they're finally I think it's been 15 years since they've seen each other, and they all come together to just celebrate each other and come together in Taye Diggs plays the best man essentially, and his Lance, that Morris Chestnut's character play, he's about to get married. They're all coming together for this marriage, and in the midst of this, some drama comes out about a book that Taye Diggs wrote about his college years and about how he spoiler alert,
it's technically it's supposed to be fiction.
It is fiction, but he barely changed the names and shoved everybody over one person.
He comes out with this book that's essentially becomes a bestseller, and it's supposed to be fiction, but it's heavily based on the people that's literally we're going to see in the film.
Right.
So and he lets it slip that Lance's soon to be wife had sex with Taye Diggs' character before she had sex with Morris Chestnut's character, and it blows up the whole thing. It almost ruins the wedding, and it really tests the bonds of friendship between these men, and then the women that they are also attached to. It's thrown into this, and it's levity and comedy, and it's some hard hitting stuff as well. I think people enjoy it. If you haven't seen The Best Man, go watch it, Tyler.
Both movies directed by Malcolm D. Lee, written and directed by. So this is actually both are his pet project. I'm assuming the TV show will be as well. And I know Tyler didn't get a chance to watch this one, but maybe this will make you want to watch it. If you
he's like, no, I'm good.
If you want to earmuffs, you can of course do that. So this story picks up many years later, but still kind of in a way right after the events of the first film, because this is the first time they're getting back together.
This is another 15 year.
Right. Yeah. And so they're getting back together after a long time, and we get to see everybody's story.
It's not the NFL technically, because they don't mention that.
No, but it's the Giants and the Falcons, so it's the NFL.
I know, that's the weird thing. They never and the thing is too, he lives in New Jersey, which is where
where the Giants play, right?
Yeah, and the logos were off just enough. So
I still think they had to get permission. I still swear that there was some maybe from the teams, but not the NFL.
It looks like they shot actually in the Giants stadium.
Okay.
But that's the only thing they have to get permission. They probably had to because I didn't see anything where the NFL
I don't know if they called them the Falcons. They might have said the Dirty Birds.
All they call them Atlanta. That's all they ever refer to as Atlanta. But and they had a falcon on the side, but
Right.
it wasn't the actual falcon logo.
But they were the right colors. Both teams
yeah,
were the
right colors. Same with the Giants.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been a while. He's about to leave, like
We'd missed his whole career.
professional football. Like,
we didn't see his whole career.
Yeah, so it's been some time.
So, Brian, what'd you think?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, I was actually really surprised by this. I think I only liked it. Now, if I would have came into this without seeing The Best Man, I don't know if I would like it, because I
get that.
I think a lot of it hinges on you seeing the first film.
Yeah.
But
it's
because of that
connection to the characters,
yeah, and like their history a little bit already, and take notes. And man, there were moments when I was just like laughing out loud in this movie too. Just like, there's some really great stuff in this one.
Quentin is gold.
Yeah, Terrence Howard is top tier in this film.
He really is.
Yeah, he was better in this one too than he was in the first one.
He was still friendly in the first one, but man.
I like this one.
They upgrade him heavy in this in the points of funny of comedy. They upgrade him.
Yeah, there's some great, like the first dinner table scene is really great. And then all the guys in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Table lounge area was pretty great.
Yeah. The dance when they were dancing.
Yeah, the dance. Like yeah. And I was
Tyler's like, God damn it, I need to watch this movie.
Well, I mentioned like during the pre-review, but I was really glad to see that there is a white man named Brian,
and holding his
have
own
a relationship with Nia Long. I was
really
like, oh yes, yeah.
But he was accepted pretty quickly.
Brian was living through the fictional Brian because this Brian actually loves Nia Long, so like he was living vicariously. So.
What's that?
now, real quick. Do you guys think the guy that played Brian had the perfect news face? Right, like that guy should be on the news. Like he looks just like a news anchor. So they hired the right actor.
Jaw, coiffed hair. Yeah.
So overall, you liked it.
It was. Plus, it was like I was surprised that like I cried at this movie. I was not expecting that either. I was just like, oh, man, yeah, really, really good. I think this is my favorite of the three that we watched.
All right. Tyler, I want to involve you, but I don't know how.
He's like, don't.
What do you think you'll? What
do you think you might think about these two movies?
Well,
have you seen the previews?
I have. I think one of them is the best, probably. I assume.
Yes, correct.
Cool.
She's gone. I was about to ask her what she liked about this movie.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I love all the Best Man films. I love anything that's like a whole bunch of black people in it. Like, that's gonna be biased off rip. If it's a whole bunch of black people in it, I'm like, this is gonna be good. And then I'll check it out and I'll be like, it was all right, but
but it was still good, right? It was still good.
But it was still good. I still love y'all. I'm still giving y'all this money, so we can keep making these movies, But the Best Man holiday for me is just a great continuation from the first one. So again, this is like a true sequel in the sense that you have to watch the first one. You can build those connections with the characters and also like the type of film this is. This isn't like a typical. It's a typical film. I'm not trying to like elevate it because it's black people in it, because I'm not doing that. But I just meant like the way that the comedy hits, the way that these people like they talk and they move and they do. It's very specific. And if you don't know how they speak or what they do, it will come off very like soap opera-y. But if you watch that first one and then to the second one, you can kind of like you could be like, okay, I get it. This is what they do, how they do things. So because some sequels you could just kind of go into it and be like, I ain't see the first one, but this ain't one of those sequels.
This is not a Marvel movie.
It's not at all. But it's like, to me, I thought everybody did a great job. This film to me really did elevate Morris Chestnut more in my eyes, and I was like watching this like he's literally if Ricky never got shot in Boys in the Hood. If anybody's seen Boys in the Hood, like if Ricky never got shot, he would have turned into this character. Like this is
wow.
That's a good point.
Interesting.
And I feel like
Cuba is Harper in a lot of ways. Like,
and I'm just saying though, like if he never would have got shot, this would have been Ricky. But anywho, but I love this. I love the connections with like. You see from the first film to this film, you see the characters kind of grow, even though people are still like snarky and snotty with each other. You see that when it really matters, they're like there for each other. And like, Mia, the character Mia is literally like, I always bring this up because it's just the nerd in me. She's like the Phil Coulson of this. because her loss is what
Right.
brings.
So we're
is
gonna
what,
make
like,
it a Marvel movie.
Yes, that's funny.
we are, because you brought it up. You put it in my head. It's your fault. But like she's like the Phil Coulson of this because her death like makes it so that everybody kind of forgets their pettiness
Yeah.
and tries to live a little bit more how she did, just like loving and accepting and being there for people. I will say her relationship with Lance is just like so beautiful to me. It's he can be a little rough sometimes, but you kind of get that because he's a football player. It's the aggression. Like he's never abusive. Like I don't think women would mind somebody to be like a little aggressive, but they're not abusive. But also there's a strength in her that calms him, and I think that's beautiful to see that people don't really see a lot. Like he was really doing bad at his last game because he didn't want to be there. He was thinking about her. One phone call and bro won the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's stuff like
Yeah.
that and love like that that
Yeah.
I feel actually exists. You know, that I feel actually exists. And then in this context, they kind of played it for like jokes a little bit because like Nia Long's character is like, well, what did you say to him? And she was just like, I told him what I wanted for Christmas, and she was like, I was like, okay, like you know, it's like a funny little thing, but like I feel like love can be like that. Like if you have your person and they tell you something, it can inspire you to be greater
Yeah.
than what you already are. And I think that to me, this movie kind of like shows that in a lot of different ways. Like you even see from the first one to the second one, the difference in Harper and I cannot remember her name, Robin. Harper and Robin's relationship is different. Like he listens more. He's a little bit more attentive. Like he doesn't, and she's a little bit more open and forthright. And she's like, she doesn't take all the crap that she was taking in the first one. She doesn't take that in this one. You know what I mean? She
Yeah.
does jump to some conclusions because that's Robin. But like
Right.
but Harper is also a person that doesn't put all his cards on the table. He hides stuff even from her, which she's
Yeah.
like, you can't do that. And like it's just a nice progression in character. Y'all know me, I like character stuff. So like it's a nice projection in character and movement. And I just think it's like it was just done very well. Again, I cried. I done seen this movie a couple times. I still shed some tears. And I mean like hella tears. Like you ever like cry and like
Weeping.
you thought you stopped?
Weeping.
Like no, for real. Like you ever thought you like
stopped? Yeah.
you ever like cried and you thought you stopped, but your face is still wet and you're like, oh shit, okay.
Some of those.
You're like mentally I stopped, but my emotions are still like draining from like
You wipe it away and then you're like, why is it
you're
still
wiping away.
leaking?
You're like,
What's going on?
how is it still coming out of my face?
Right.
And so it's just to me, this is a nice. Again, this is a plot that like it ain't that heavy of a plot for you to like, you know, kind of like grasp onto, but because of what the first one did in Foundation, like how it built the foundation, this is just a beautiful like continuation to the story, and like it hits you even more than that first one did, because the first one, I'm telling you, Tyler, when you watch it,
The first
that
one's
first
a
one is still gonna
is an origin story.
a precursor
if anything,
to like it's an origin story essentially
Yeah.
to this. Like the first one is
That's
still
how
gonna
they
hit
their
you.
powers.
Right.
No, literally, like the first one still hits you in the field in certain, especially if you're like, I really think it hits more so if you're a guy, because it's like two men, their friendship and how it's like on the rocks, and how like you could see that they were the bestest of friends. Like they were like, they shared everything with each other, and then to be betrayed by one and then slowly trying to build that relationship back, even in this one, another 15 years.
Oh,
It
man,
was
I don't
just
think
what-
I'm like mentally prepared for that.
Well,
right
and like
now.
Oh, dude,
if
this
he
movie
hadn't
will
like,
wreck you.
if he hadn't had this ulterior motive,
right.
they wouldn't have. And he mentions
wouldn't
that in the
have-
movie. They
yeah,
wouldn't
he
have
was-
like
yeah.
talked as much as they have
Yeah.
because it's been so long.
Because he
but-
says that he goes like
Yeah.
you didn't think to just ask me. He was like, no, I didn't,
but
but
I
I'm
wouldn't
happy I didn't, because
Yeah.
we've talked more
Wouldn't be able to
now
talk to
than
you
we
more.
ever have in like the
Yeah.
last 15 years. And like,
Right.
and again, I give Harper props, because if you go back to that first one, Harper is trash. He is trash in that first one. Like you can see he's a little difficult. But he's trash. And then in this one, he wasn't gonna write that book. It was
He's
just a
also
mock up, and
grown a lot.
he's grown a lot, and you can
He
see it in his character.
he even stops and prays for a moment about whether
Yeah.
or not he should
There's
continue.
the whole. So that's actually
Mhm.
like. So there's some hero's journey stuff to this. So he's given the nugget of the idea to do a bio about his friend Lance, right?
Mhm.
That's the call to adventure, basically. And he
Yeah.
denies the call because that's usually what the hero will do. They'll turn it away, and it could be like a split second, or it could be like a few scenes later, they'll answer the call, and that's what he does. And he finally does, like, that was the thing. So he does struggle with it, he does kind of like,
Yeah.
I can't, especially because of what he's already done. that
Yeah,
also
yeah.
involves Lance.
Yeah, and then
You
on top
know,
of
so
that too, they don't really allude to it. I mean, they do a little bit, but he's broke.
yeah,
Like he's broke, and he hasn't
yeah,
written a
yeah.
successful
It's been like 3
movie
years
book since
since it,
the
yeah,
first time we seen him. Like it's been a minute, and so
yeah,
he
and he's
needs
fired from
money. And
NYU.
he's fired from
Yeah.
NYU, so
Yeah.
so a source of income that he was getting is not there anymore. So
Mhm.
the scene between him and Terrence Howard's character, it's such a great scene to me
You need some
because
money, bro.
No,
he was like we're all, it's for him to say we're all worried about you, that means we've
yeah,
all been talking about you without you,
Right.
yeah,
and we can all see a change in you. And I just thought that scene was so great because a lot of men don't have conversations like that, like to be like, do
Nor
you
will
need
cry.
me, nor will cry. And it's, I don't know, it was just such great acting because Tay Diggs like just turned to the side and was just like, yeah, and,
Those
like, that
tears look
tear
real
rolled
to
down,
me.
and I was just like,
yeah.
Because they came
Well,
out
it's al-
on
there's also-
screen.
They're also able to like work a little bit of humor still in there too, because it's like you just gotta do one
Quentin's
thing for
character kept it up enough that I
Yeah.
wasn't just
Mhm.
depressed through the whole film.
me. Yeah, the whole thing was like you just gotta do one thing for me. You gotta call me daddy. You
yeah,
gotta call me
he's like,
daddy.
you
at least
gotta call
once,
me
like-
daddy
Okay,
at least
yeah.
once.
The best line
And
from
he
Terrence
started
Howard
laughing.
though is when he sends the dick pic to the girl and then
He's
starts
like-
to pray and goes, God,
Yeah,
you
the
made me
thunder-
this way. You made me this way.
No,
I
because
love
like,
that
okay,
so
so
much.
like
God,
he
you
sends,
made me like this. Like, yeah.
he
Right.
sends the dick pic, and then like he's like, yeah, that's a good one. And then
Yeah.
lightning cracks, and he was like,
Yeah,
oh,
and
oh Lord, he's like, I'm so
immediately
sorry, like, you
goes-
made me this
starts
way.
praying.
I love it.
He's
I
like,
love
It
it.
God,
just,
you made me
it's
like
just
this,
like,
bro.
it's just really good. And then it's like you see female
Yeah.
relationships come together. It's just, I don't know, man. This is just good to me. But go
So-
ahead, Snitty.
No,
Your
you're
thoughts?
good. I wanted to wait anyway, because for me, this movie, I don't do well with movies about cancer if they're seriously done. So like I watched Thor: Love and Thunder, and it was such a hot mess with jokes that this cancer stuff just fell away. I didn't really care.
Mhm.
But because my dad died of cancer in 2018, cancer stories for me hit hard. And this one doesn't pull any punches. And he died in his bed just like she did. They had a baby right afterward. It wasn't the same baby, but there was a baby right afterward. We had a baby right afterward. So this
Baby
was like
after.
just kept hitting home. And I just wept to the point where I felt sick to my stomach. I was crying so hard.
Mhm.
So if you don't do well with cancer stories, you might want to avoid this one. Because it's rough. Like I genuinely didn't think it would. I was like, oh, Best Man's Holiday was, or Best Man, was so fun and it was lighthearted in most parts.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking I was gonna
you
go
know,
into this cancer story.
Mhm.
I didn't
Yeah, I was
either.
about to
And
watch
then
it
when
at
she
Christmas
starts showing up on
time.
screen, I'm like, oh shit, she's dying. You could tell,
Yeah, I mean,
it's just
she
one of those
looks
movies you
Yeah.
can tell.
thinner and
The moment
And-
he's like, does she look smaller to you?
Yeah,
Does she
no.
look?
And then the daughter comes up
When-
and goes,
yeah.
Mom's happy that you guys are here. And I'm like, what the fuck
yeah,
is happening?
she's doing a lot
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. So I just
Like,
I
she's doing a
started to
lot better.
realize, and
Uh-huh.
it just, you're right. When Lance holds it together through the entire funeral, through
Mhm.
everything thick and thin,
That
and then
last
the moment that she's lowered in the ground, which I if it were my wife being lowered, I don't know how
Oh,
anybody
yeah.
would have walked away.
Oh my
I would have been
God.
like, why are you guys
Mhm.
walking away? She's not in the ground. Like, be here with me
Yeah.
till this
Yeah.
is over. And it just,
I love that Harper's the one that comes back for him.
Yeah, he,
right.
like,
And it
runs
needed to be.
back,
That's
too,
what
like-
Mia was
Yeah.
saying. If it
Mhm.
that's the only
Like
person
you
that
need
would
him.
really, in a sense.
Like you need him because
Right.
I think everybody looks at Lance as like this strong, like football player. He's a strong guy. He's got it together, and they walk away. But like Harper's character knows him underneath it all. He knows him when he was at his,
Mhm.
like, because I think like I want to say in the first one, because I haven't seen the first one in quite some time, but I kind of remember it from time to time. But I think in the first one they show flashbacks a little bit, like very quick, not like a lot of
Oh, yeah.
flashbacks. But
Uh-huh.
they show like flashbacks to them being like in college together,
Yeah.
so you
Mhm.
get the
That's
sense
right.
of like their brotherhood and them being together. So it just makes sense that, because I think it's a scene where it's like Lance tried to be like all schwa with Mia, and Mia's like a Christian girl, and she was like, baby, you ain't gonna get me like that. And she was just like, she broke up with him, and he broke down in front of Harper. And so Harper's, I think, the only one who has seen him in that space.
Right.
So it just makes sense for Harper to be the one to like, he does walk away, but he still looks back and
Well, he
looks
kept
back
looking
and
back
he
too, like
knows.
making
kept,
sure.
you know,
Checking
and
on
then you know,
Yeah.
and then when he sees him buckle, he like runs to him, and like
Yeah.
I was
And
just like,
caught
son
him
of a
when he
bitch.
fell.
I
Like I
know.
got no tissue. I was like, God damn it. Like,
Right.
but it's just one of those things where I like, it's just, I need you to watch it, Tyler. Like I need you to watch it because I would love to just hear your,
Now you got to make some TikToks on both of these. That's what you got to do.
yeah.
See, I was gonna watch it with my
Yeah,
girlfriend,
that's-
but now like the cancer thing was like, well, because my father-in-law just passed away this year, so it's like,
Oh,
and we've been watching like a slew of these like movies like unintentionally, and like I don't know if we can do
Yeah,
another one, but I'll probably
wanna
just watch it.
don't want to spring another one on there. I get
mm,
that. No, when Nia
It
Long
ultimately has
cries
a
in the
happy
bathtub.
ending, at least.
No,
Yeah,
it
So
does.
yeah.
It
right.
does.
Yeah.
A really beautiful one in the midst of like, and also there's levity in it. Like Terrence Howard's character, he is the only one that tells the truth, but he's funny as well. So it's like
Yeah.
he hits people where they need to be hit, and then he's like, but don't sleep with my girl when you
Yeah.
with my wife. Like he does
And
like
then it's like, yeah, there's that hesitation, the moment of hesitation, like,
he's like,
oh,
ha
did you actually?
ha, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But I also like that you can see, like, even though you didn't see a lot of it in the first film, you can still see the connectivity between the characters. Because, like, for like Mia's character calling like him big bro, and he was like little sis, like even if we didn't see a lot of that in the first one, you could still feel that because of like the acting and like the writing and how it's like put together. So like that's to me is still like very interesting. It's like a lot of stuff that they kind of, because like let's be honest, I do not remember them saying that the girl that the girl that Merch was with in the first one, I can't remember her name. But I gotta get her name. It's gonna kill me to death. Shelby. Yeah. So like they in the first one, Shelby was just like somebody that Merch was dating, but then they kind of
Right.
retconned her character in this one to make her she went to college with Mia or something like that, or like it was like a
Yeah.
sorority sister of Mia's or something like
That's
that, which
right.
I was okay with because they had to figure out a way to bring her back into the
Right.
fold because like
because she was a
Yeah.
huge part of the first
her-
film. Like she
Because
Right,
needed to be
her
there.
and-
like the only separate one at the time.
right, her and
Yeah.
Quentin's characters are very much like the same person, just like male and female. Like they're very, very similar.
Yeah.
So like you know, they kind of retconned her character, which I'm not mad at it. That's fine because I enjoy Shelby. I wanted her to be in this one, so I have a problem with that. But it was just like a lot of beautiful things. Like when the little girl, like when her daughter went and sat next to Quentin and held his hand because he was crying at the funeral. I was just like, oh my God, children. Oh, they're great. Like, my
Well,
God.
that's something else that's great is they managed to bring. There's a different dynamic in this movie. They bring kids into this movie.
There's more kids.
The first
Yes.
movie didn't have any kids because they were all too young to be
Yeah.
having kids yet.
Yeah.
Or not too young,
But it was done
they
in
were
a-
just they
But it
hadn't
was
yet.
done in a way.
Brian-
It was done in a
Brian's
way where I didn't. It was done.
What was that? I didn't catch it.
He said Brian was
Said
there.
Brian's there.
Right, Brian's there. Now that's the thing. Okay, so one of the things about The Best Man that I noticed, and we talked about this when I brought it up last week, but we talked about this in detail the night of the episode.
Oh yeah,
was
you were
that
like no white people.
There's no real white people. There's one like white girl
Yeah.
in the background and another white dude in a dance, but there's no speaking lines for white people in that movie at all.
Y'all got
Like,
one. This
at
movie
all.
turned
Oh,
up.
Right. And so, yeah, when the white guy shows up, I'm like, oh, it's a white guy in this movie. What am I supposed to do with this? I don't even know what to do with the white guy. But it's Brian, and he ended up holding his own, and it worked. Like, I didn't know if it would
Yeah.
work, but he did a good job, and the actor brought it together.
And it was a
So,
good comedy element for them too to like kind of
Mhm.
mess with Nia Long.
Right.
Yeah,
Her character.
because that
too,
is a
like,
thing.
it's pretty
That is a
funny,
thing in Black communities.
I'm
That is
sure.
like you got your white boy.
Yeah.
Right.
The whole like
But they
snow
were like,
joke, too.
if I was
Yeah.
gonna have a white guy, you got
He
the
would
right
be
kind
the
of
white guy.
guy.
Like you got
Right.
you got the right kind of white guy.
And then they were
like,
talking
Right.
about how white guys are better, or white girls are better at certain things,
White
and they
girls are
definitely,
better at-
Yeah.
like really kind of played
Yeah.
off of that. And
Yeah.
yeah,
very
speaking into the
interesting
mic.
That'll
Speaking,
that
you
whole
gotta talk to
conversation
it. That was some
like, whoa.
hilarious shit.
gotta
Okay,
talk
you
to
gotta
it. Yeah,
talk
yeah,
to it.
yeah.
All right, you don't know what
But
you're missing
honestly,
out on.
And you know what's funny? Oh, thank you, Ray. I appreciate you saying I'm wild because I am. Thank you. But but like that to me, I like that scene between the women because like that's how me and my friends kind of talk, like, or me and my friend, because I ain't got many, but that's how me and my friend talk to each other. Like we'll just be like, we kind of get raw like that, I guess I'll say. Like
Right.
we don't hold anything back. So to me, whoever wrote that scene, I know Malcolm D. Lee is like the writer, but like I'm pretty sure he had some women come in like, yo, let's have a conversation. Like, how would y'all?
Oh,
I got this idea. I got an idea for this scene. How would y'all talk about this?
Mhm.
Or he at least went to those women and would be like, oh, we would do this, or we would talk
Yeah.
like, so nothing felt
Yeah, maybe
like,
on the day, like when they shot
Yeah.
that stuff, they were like,
just kind of like
"Oh,
let them go. Like maybe it was
Yeah,
improv. They
there
just
could be
said like
some
let them
improv in
go.
there,
For
yeah.
context, Tyler, they were literally talking about whether or not she would miss the big black dick. Let's just put
Yeah.
that out there.
Yeah.
For
because
context.
she's dating Brian."
And that's
but-
literally the terminology that is used. Big black dick.
Oh, yeah.
That's usually the
Uh-huh.
terminology that is
Oh,
used.
Brian.
Yeah. Now, poor Brian. Poor Brian in that scene.
Don't feel too bad for him. But we still got Nia Long.
That's a double entendre for you other kids. That's a
Oh,
double
wow.
entendre.
We're full of puns and entendres here. That's,
Yeah.
I
that's what
love
we
it.
do.
Wait,
But
I actually have
also-
a question.
Oh,
about,
Sure.
So, I hate to bring up Marvel, but Marvel, like, you know how, like, from, like, the first movie to a sequel, right? Like, a lot of times, like, there's time that's passed between these films, right? And the
Yeah.
characters are kind of the same. Like, it seems like from what I'm hearing from you guys, it's like they're taking into account the 15-year gap
Absolutely.
between the movies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Harper
'Cause,
is
like,
not
stories
as
do that
cocky.
sometimes, like,
He's more
No, totally.
reserved. He's worried about himself. He's self-conscious. He's
Yeah.
he's a completely different
Yeah,
character.
the character development from the first one to the second one is palpable. You can feel it.
Yeah.
You can see it. It's
Yeah.
on the screen. It's written. You know,
Yeah.
you still see traits of who they used to be, but then you see the conflict in it as well. So it's like it's very well done.
Like the whole thing with like Harper, what he did in the first film was more like ego, I would say,
Mhm.
than anything. Where this one, he's like forced into this situation
Yeah,
because of
he's like,
financially
I'm
where he's at.
broke,
You know what I mean?
and
Like,
I have a baby
he
coming.
doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't want to do it.
He doesn't want to
you
do
know?
it. He's like, I need to do it, and that's how
Yeah.
he justifies it in his mind. Even though
Right.
he's like, I know I should do it.
Yeah.
You know, and he's
And
too
because of
proud to ask for help and stuff because of what happened
because of
last
the
time.
events that happened in the first one,
Mhm.
you know, they have that to play off of. Like all the other characters
Mhm.
don't know what's going on with him personally, but they
Right.
but they're all fully aware of the situations that happened before.
right.
You know, so there's all that too. You know, it's
Oh.
like, but
So-
they play into
Yeah.
like the growth as well. But
Where
they did a good job.
where Love Actually fails, these two
Yeah.
movies do better.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So like there
For
is
sure.
a bunch of interwoven stuff with both of these films because it's an 8 or 10 characters total, and we're
Yeah.
getting to see
And
a
most of
little
it
bit
takes
from
place
all of them.
on location.
Right.
Yeah,
they're
which is
bottle
always
episodes in a
nice.
sense.
Yeah.
Which is
Now,
always
okay,
nice. Like it's
can
one
we talk
location. It's
about-
like you don't go too crazy.
Can we talk about Lance's house? Okay. 3
Yeah.
Christmas trees, one in the front
Yeah.
yard, one in the
3 Christmas tree
foyer,
house.
and then one in the family room.
That's what rich people
Actually-
do.
Actually, there's
Rich.
4.
Wait, there's
4 because
another
there's
one?
one outside, one huge one outside the front in there.
The
like
blue one, the one with the blue lights.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
there's the foyer one, and then the family. So where was the 4th one then?
the one
I was
outside.
talking about
You
the
didn't
one
mention
outside.
The one outside.
The blue one outside is the first one I mentioned.
I don't think it's the blue one, but
Well, the whole house is blue lights.
I didn't clock the Christmas trees. I was
Yeah,
watching
neither
the
did I.
story.
I want a nice Christmas tree, and I have a little tiny shrubbery thing. So
I'm just
you
kidding.
know.
Yeah.
But
I feel like that's
you
what
know,
rich people do. I feel like their
Yeah.
family. I think
he's gonna
I
have
feel
all money.
like it's been 15 years, right? So 15 years worth, like so 15 Christmases, right? There's no telling when she got diagnosed. They probably do it up every Christmas for
Oh,
her.
yeah.
So I would assume that like that means multiple trees, like because it's like decorations everywhere, but it's not gaudy. So it's not like
Yeah, I mean they
It's
had an
not-
that house was
itinerary.
gaudy. Anyway.
They had an
Yeah.
itinerary for
I'll
them
take
and
it.
everything.
I'll take the host.
I just how rich do
They
you
had an
have to
itinerary
be?
for everybody in the.
Yeah,
they
there was
really?
like a
Came,
spa. I
so-
think there was like a spa room because they had like spa treatments and stuff
Yeah,
like
they
that.
had a
People was getting
spa time. There was
massages.
a talent show.
There was,
But they basically
Yeah,
had a
all
room
these
for every
things they had to
scene
do.
in this house, and everybody got their own suite. Like that's a really ridiculous house. And the
I
kids
love it,
obviously
man.
got their own rooms because you didn't see the kids
If
in
I
with the
had-
You
parents.
didn't see the
if
kids.
I had
together.
the money, man, I would do it up just like that. If I could sustain, I would do it
See,
up just like
I
that.
think I would.
Everybody come visit. Everybody come visit me. No, but my thing is this: they both probably have big families. They got like 4 kids apiece. We see her mother at the end. Which means that like I'm pretty sure whenever they did this for Christmas, her family would show up, his side of the family would show
True.
up, like all these
Right.
people would show up. You know what I mean? So like it made sense to have a house that big, and they just kept having babies. So like they had like 4 or 5 kids, something like that. So like I feel like the house to me kind of made sense. And then we also know that Mia always in the back of her mind was always like, come visit, come see us, come do this, come, you know.
So she
come-
was
like,
always kind of preparing for that, even if she
she
didn't
was
like
always
Mia.
kind of
Nia Long's character like alludes to that, how she always made effort. Like
yeah. And
Mia
she was always
did.
busy.
she was but she always like I'm just too busy. But Mia was always making the effort with emails and texts and calls and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
she still kept connecting, trying to connect. So yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
I'm gonna fight for this movie, man. Give me any plot hole y'all think y'all got. I'm gonna kill it. I'm
No,
gonna crush it.
I don't
No, I'm
think
just
there
playing.
are
I'm just
any.
joking.
No, I genuinely don't think there are plot holes. I think that both these
I'm just
films
joking.
were thought out very, very well.
Yeah.
I still love the first one because it is genuinely like oh shit, I did not see
Yeah.
that coming.
Yeah,
Kind
you're
of
gonna
thing.
get that tired. You're gonna
And
be like, oh,
and I
this
love
got
it,
this
so.
got aggressive real fast.
Right.
Like, oh,
Oh, there's dick pics in this one too. Whoa.
Yeah,
They both, there's
mean,
definitely R-ratedness to
I'm just
both. You know,
saying.
there is some
You're not
R-ratedness.
wrong there, Ty. You're not wrong,
I
man.
think
You're on the
there's
right
less
track.
dick pics in this one.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's a holiday movie, you know?
No, for sure. You can't go too.
Welcome to Real
crazy.
Study Christmas, where
No.
we talk
Yeah.
about, you know,
Dick pics.
BBC and
Yeah.
It just gets good, and I
Yeah,
feel like
it's really
everybody
good.
was. I just feel like everybody was on top of their acting game. Like even like in
Mhm.
serious parts, like serious, like dramatic,
Agreed.
like hard parts. I feel like everybody, like even when the women are like arguing with each other, and I just hate like catty black women. I'm just like, oh lord, but it was still done in a way that's like
Mhm.
respectful to their characters and not like caricatures of like what you think black women will be arguing. Like it was
Mhm.
just, and to me that's what happens when black people write for black people. So it was just done in a nice way. I was just like, I can see this argument actually happening. I can see somebody being mad because of this, and then it's like you see underneath it that there's layers. Like Shelby's only lashing out because like she missed dude, she missed him. Like he
Mhm.
he was
well,
he
and she
was a
misses
good
her
man that
friends too,
she
like
lost.
a little bit of both.
Right, like a little bit of both. Like she's not in like she used to be. She's not in
Right.
it like she used to be. So it's like
Right.
you see that, and then you see like Regina Hall plays like a former stripper. In the first one, she's like a stripper that they meet. In this
Yeah,
one,
they meet in the
she's
first one.
right, and she's a former stripper now, but they're really trying to change her life around. And it shows
Yeah.
the hardships of somebody that used to do something that they had to do
Yeah, it has a
to
history
like
of that. Yeah.
to like get just trying to find her life, because she was very young. I think she might have been like 20 when they met her, like 20 to 25 or something like that when they met her.
Mhm.
Then it's like she's trying to change her life, and then it's showing the hardships of somebody trying to start somewhere and end up in another place, but then still getting hounded by their past of things that they didn't
Yeah.
used to do. So
Coming
it's just
back to haunt them.
yeah, it's like it's both films are like very layered, and then in the second one it just gets even more layered because of the stuff that's done in the first one. So like I think you would like it, Ty.
I agree,
Mhm.
and they are definitely written and directed for a black audience, but they are universal. These stories are completely
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But you can kind of peek behind the curtain in a sense and get to see what
Yeah, essentially.
what it's like to not be white, I guess, from my perspective. So
Yeah.
just let go
And
and
everybody's
enjoy
and
themselves.
everybody's successful. There's not a
Yeah.
black person
Yeah, that's like
that's not successful.
totally.
Like
Yeah.
everybody, like we know Harper writes books and stuff like that, and he's been successful. NFL player, Lance,
Nia Long, like running a
Nia Long is like
She's
a
MSN
or
like
something,
producer or something.
yeah, she's
Yeah,
like a
she's like a
producer, or
producer.
like she got
She's
all
like
these
won
contacts.
Emmys. Yeah.
Sanaa Lathan is like a famous chef. Like she's
Yeah.
like a very a rising star chef. Like people are getting to know her.
Mhm.
So it's like everybody. Shelby is a housewife, but that's part of her character.
Yeah.
Kind of like
She's like one of those kind of housewives.
Like one of
Well, she's
those
like a
kind of
real
reality-
housewife, right?
She's like
Yeah.
a reality show.
she's like a reality
housewife.
star.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I did
I
like
think
how
part of
Shelby
that
was
can
on the
help
phone and was
everybody,
like, "No,
You see her
this
integrity.
this is
Yeah.
not going to make it on the show because this is my private
Exactly.
life." And I like that she had a
Yeah.
line that she could drop.
Exactly. You see her integrity with that, and then it's like Quentin is like a brand manager. Like
Right.
he worked with Puffy and
Yeah, Harper's the
Quincy
least
Jones and stuff like
successful
that.
of all the people.
Like he's the least successful. He started off as like kind of like the most successful, and
Right.
then it flipped, and he's like the least successful, and that's why like he don't want to ask somebody for help because he thinks
Maybe
he's supposed
Julian
to be
as
on top all
well.
the
Like
time.
the school's doing well, but maybe they're not rich.
I don't think they're poor either because
I don't think
remember,
they're poor. I think they're middle class though. I don't think they're like
but I think
killing it.
they're,
But
but I don't know. I think they're really good middle class because remember when she was like, "What if you want to come to the house and get like baby clothes or whatever?" You
no,
can
but
get
that was
baby
Lance's
clothes."
baby
and,
clothes.
and Harper, no, they were outside of Merch's house because Regina
He
Hall's
even
character
thanks
walked
Lance
up.
at the end for the baby clothes.
Oh, was it? Oh,
Yeah.
never mind. I take it back. I take it
So
back.
it was Mia that had suggested it, and then
Oh, okay.
Harper was like, "We don't need
'Cause I'm like,
charity."
That was just weird because it's just like because Merch was with her and then like Regina Hall's character. It was weird. Okay, never mind. Because
If Lance hadn't confirmed it at the end when they said thanks for the baby
No,
clothes,
for sure,
yeah,
for
I
sure.
would agree with you that it would be hard to say.
Because
but-
she was like, just think about how nice them clothes gonna be. I was like, exactly. You better go and get them baby clothes. That clothes expensive.
They really are. And I'm assuming that Lance's family went through these things very quickly and everything was kept up and clean. And so the hand-me-downs would be.
But also think about Mia. Mia is like, she's like a stay-at-home mom, like, and she loves that life. She probably made sure that everything was like taken care of, especially
There's
as her
no
life.
way they
especially
don't
as her
have somebody
life
taking
started
care of
to-
the house.
They had servants and stuff.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
That
They had
people that was
somebody
serving
taking
them
care of the
food and stuff like that too. But I feel like she's like in it.
Oh yeah,
She's
no,
like,
she was
okay,
in
this
it,
is what we're
but-
gonna do. This is how we're gonna fold. And this is
And it is, yes, Kyle, it is on Peacock. currently.
It is. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
on Peacock. That's
I
I
don't know
think
if
he
both
was
of them
asking
are.
about he was asking about Honk for Jesus, as I mentioned.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
Okay.
on
Jesus,
Peacock.
but
too.
it's also
Yeah,
on
it is
Peacock.
on Peacock.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Everything's on
It's also on
Peacock
Peacock.
right now,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
that was
is
good
strangely
too.
one of
Go
my
check it
favorite
out.
services lately. But
Check it out.
it is.
I flip flop between Peacock and Paramount Plus, man. I be going back and forth.
And occasionally Netflix. On that note, we're gonna rate this, but before we do, any good New Year's Eve movies you can suggest to the real students so they can watch
New Year's
over the-
Eve. No,
There is a New Year's Eve movie
I'm
that's
just
just like Love Actually.
And then what about not Stranger Things, but damn, the one with Ray Fiennes.
The Menu.
The menu.
Not Strange Brew, Strange Days.
why is
Oh,
everybody saying
there's
the
so much.
menu? That's hilarious.
The Menu.
The
Strange
Menu.
Days, yeah.
I guess the
I
menu
wanna
could be a New Year's Eve.
I
Right.
want to see the menu.
I still want to see it. There
When
aren't a
Harry
ton
Met
of New Year's
Sally.
Eve movies. Technically,
When
Last
Harry Met
Holiday
Sally's
was
not
both.
really-
There you go.
When Harry Met
Doesn't
Sally's
matter.
not really a New Year's
mean-
Eve movie, but the end is New Year's Eve.
Right.
I mean, Ocean's 11 takes place during like the New Year's Eve. Just saying.
I'm sure there's an Adam Sandler movie that's a
Probably.
I'm
Okay, so here's a better New Year's Eve question. Do you guys
crying.
have a resolution since we won't see each other till after New Year's?
I don't do resolutions.
Ah, an anti-resolution person. My resolution is to have
Yeah.
no resolutions. Fair. Anybody else have
But
resolutions?
that's a resolution. I don't
It's
really.
not,
I mean,
I'm
I guess
kidding.
you could count it as. I'm just kidding. But you could. I mean, you could count it as a resolution. But for me personally, every year I just try to be better than I was the previous year. Whether that means in like the things that I do, how I treat people, how I treat myself, how I do content, like just continuing to grow, be a better me.
Well,
But that's,
damn,
like,
just
every day.
take the perfect answer. I
right.
mean, Jeez.
Oh.
Follow up.
My
How are we supposed to
bad.
answer now? Tyler, do
My
you have
bad.
one that you do? Tyler does
Uh,
work out, so I'm not sure if maybe there's a workout, one in there.
No, I do. I've been working on a short film for. You know when people are like, "Oh yeah, I've been working on it for like 6 years." We know it's like on and off. Like I've been working on it for like years. Like it's been
Mhm.
all kinds of different ideas. But I think, I feel next year will be the year that it produced. Like
Let's
funded
go.
everything.
I'm here
So
for
I'll-
You
it.
got all of
Yeah.
our juju, if you will. All of our positive thoughts. So
That's what I need. I need supportive film people. I got like all kinds of people who don't watch movies. They're like, "Oh yeah, just whatever. Yeah, you just do your thing, man."
Yeah.
I can promise you
No
this: if you
idea
make it, I'm gonna
how much
watch it.
work goes
I can
into it,
promise you
like,
that.
yeah.
So if you
I
make
mean,
it,
that
I'll
goes
watch
for
it.
Ty. Look, Ty and Bry. That's good. Make a
Oh,
podcast, guys. But that goes for both of you guys. Like, if your things are ever somewhere where I can watch them and I can support them and I can just please let me know, because like that's the life I want to make films. I want to be in films. So if I can support my friends doing the same thing, I 100% will. So.
We should probably show some of Tyler's movies or his short films on here.
Oh God, no.
No,
God,
really.
no.
I know
So
how
we'll
it
do a
is.
short films episode, which we've been talking about doing. So we'll just get a bunch of short films and we're going to add yours to the mix, because I promise you, I'm telling you, I think you are exceptionally talented and I love your films. So I think you should.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You're an artist. You're allowed to be.
You're
that way
allowed to
about
grow.
it, but
You're
I
allowed to.
promise
You're allowed
you,
to grow.
people will
You're allowed
enjoy
We
that.
should do though. Like, if everyone has, does everyone have like their own stuff? Like even like acting stuff.
Yeah.
I do. Something just came out where I did
No.
I did
I
a
don't.
spoof on pyramid schemes. Like this girl wrote a thing called Glamway. So it's very like Lululemon-y, but it's called Glamway. And I was a
Okay.
part of that, and we filmed it we did like a couple of weeks, and then we ended up filming it as a movie. It was a lot. They were like, nope, turn this way and I'll do it again. All right, cut, do it again. I was just like, I'm hungry and tired. But but it's actually on YouTube to be watched. So I mean,
Cool.
you can
Okay, I
you
can
can
give you
see
guys
me
a-
actually you can
Drop
see me
them.
actually act.
a
you know?
little-
So just-
I was in a short student documentary.
I love it.
I can give you that.
Nice.
Do it.
Do
It's
it.
not
can do
amazing.
it.
I mean, it's good. I think he did a good job, but it's about my Star Wars fan club from back in the day. So it's
Oh, that's
kinda
respect.
lame.
Star Wars. Let's
Kinda
go. Let's
So-
go. Star Wars. Amazing.
Oh,
This is
man.
this is circa 2002, 2003,
Oh goodness.
because of the Star Wars Episode 3 release.
I feel like we.
John
I feel
Mini
like we
DV
should.
tape.
I feel like
Oh,
we
it's on
should.
YouTube actually. You guys can link
We
it to you
do.
guys.
We do everybody else's stuff, let's support each other and watch us do some like some
I think it'd be great.
some stuff, some shaky stuff. I
The
guess.
real study gets personal. I like it. We
Ooh,
could, of
that's the
course,
title.
we could watch
Title
The
of-
Green Room and talk about Brian's PA work
Oh.
on that.
Right. I mean, I have a
Um,
short
that's
film
right.
too,
Oh, and then we'll have to, of course,
Right.
watch your short film as well.
like 11 minutes. but-
So that's the perfect kind of short film, like
Yeah.
meaty
so.
but not like a minute long. So,
Yeah.
All right, so this is a plan. We're gonna talk more about this.
We do.
All right. Well, I guess we'll rate this film and enjoy the rest of the year. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, this is weird. We're gonna take an actual holiday break. We didn't do that last year.
Sure
We did,
didn't.
but we didn't. All right, so let's rate this film. Tyler, no, I'm kidding. Brian, what did you think?
8.5.
Tyler got ready. He's like, whoa.
Yeah. Really good. Really surprised. And it really is like thanks to Lala, because I probably wouldn't have seen the first one if she hadn't chose it, and then which made me like this one more.
Mhm.
So yeah, thanks Lala for
No problem.
broadening our movie horizons.
I be
100%.
trying, man. I'm just happy that you guys be watching this stuff that I suggest. I'm never in it for you guys to be like it or I'll murder you.
Yeah.
Like
Just
what
try
I
it,
like what
for
I
sure.
think.
At least.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I just love that you guys are just open to watching some stuff that I feel like maybe because of just how racially you might not
Oh
have
yeah. No,
you might not
totally.
have picked up on, that's not no fault of anybody's, but
No,
I got some
exactly.
stuff probably in my arsenal that like it's a bunch of movies. Y'all be like, you ain't never seen this, and I'm like, mm-mm, mm-mm. So like,
Yeah.
I love that we can volley with each other. We can play and just like go back and forth. So
Yeah.
and thanks for just being receptive.
Oh yeah, of course.
And what do you rate it, BlackGirlMarvel?
Oh, this get an 11. You feel me? No, I'm just playing. I just playing. This gets a 9.5 for me. This gets a 9.5. It gets close because it has everything. It's funny. It's the character development is like spot on, and I think that's because it didn't change from directors, it didn't change from writers. Like the people stayed the same, so like you could have that connectivity like throughout the thing. And so it's a 9.5. It's funny. It's a little raunchy at times, but it's never like oh my god, why would they do that? Like it just plays
Right,
so
yeah,
well, and all the actors just play so well in it. So yeah, get in the 9.5.
That's good. That's awesome. I'm gonna give it a 9. I gave Best Man an 8, but this one wrecked me a lot harder and really got
Man, yeah.
down to the core of me. So I don't
Yeah.
know how often I'll be watching this movie. It's not going to be an every year movie because I already think about my dad enough
wouldn't
at
expect it.
Christmas. I don't really want it to
Yeah,
like
I
stab
wouldn't
in the
expect
heart,
it to be.
but
Yeah,
definitely
but I'm
worth
happy
a watch.
you enjoyed it.
And I'm going to give credit to Bats for bringing this movie back up for me because I had forgotten about it. And she was like, "Hey, what about Best Man Holiday? You guys watch Best Man?" So
Betsy!
she's the reason I suggested it. So I'm really
Yes.
glad that you suggested the Best Man, and then it led to this. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I
so
love Betsy. She's the greatest.
she is the greatest. She even said earlier that when you talked about the way people connect and find love, reminded her of us. When Lala said what she said about when you have your love of your life, they can inspire you to be your best self. She thought of us, which I love. So,
Mhm.
and I love her very much, and I love to tell the world that. So now I have.
Don't make me
Yeah.
I said it
cry.
again,
I love
so,
her too, though,
yeah.
but not like you. But I love her still.
Well, love has many ways of being expressed. I wish American English had the same number of ways to express love as Japanese. 5, that'd be cool. But no, we just have the
Ooh.
1 or 2, I guess, or whatever.
I
it
mean,
is.
we barely even understand the meaning, so let's just keep it at 1.
Right.
Americans be so lost because, like, look at Love
Just so
Actually.
confused.
Well,
Is
that's
that
the
love
British.
here
The
and there?
British are
Angela
lost. The
Lincoln?
Americans are, well, we're also just British with no accents. So anyway,
Cha. Very true.
that said, this has been a Christmas special, The Real Study. Thank you all for being with us
Wait.
through. What?
Wait.
What?
Wait.
What?
Brian, what was your number? What did you rate?
8.5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I thought I got the only person
I
that
was
didn't
like,
rate was
wait.
Tyler because Tyler.
And I think
I
that's
don't
why
want
my
him to rate
brain
something that's-
glitched. I was like,
yeah.
somebody's missing.
Somebody was missing.
Somebody.
You're right, but it was intentional.
Okay,
So.
my bad.
No,
I got
yeah.
scared. I was like, we missing a step. But also, you guys, please don't forget to follow us on all social media. If you have not, please join our Discord and talk to us. Share this around, you guys. Like, the more you share stuff, the more you just, even if you just put it on your YouTube or anywhere, like a little clips, it helps the channel. It really, really does. And if you haven't liked please like us as well. That boosts us up on the YouTube algorithm.
Right.
So please, like, your comments are helping as well. But we appreciate everyone that continues to come back and, you know, enjoy us just nerding out about movies like every Sunday. And I hope you guys have a great holiday. I just want to put that out.
Which we obviously love doing because we won't stop talking about movies.
Oh yeah.
So,
Can't stop, won't stop.
that said, everybody have a wonderful year. We will see you all next year. And this does it for 2022 for The Real Study. We will see you guys in January.
Oh, man.
Have a great holiday.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, guys, for being here. Be safe.
Ho, ho, ho.
This is Tyler's last time on the show. Sorry, guys.
Which is every time. So
I know, I need one more.
No,
pun.
literally.
I was gonna try to work a Love Actually one in there, like while I was talking about. I was gonna be like, yeah, Love Actually can be like that. That's what I was gonna say. But
on
didn't
that
find the
note,
moment.
you guys have a great evening. Thanks.
On that note, actually,
that's the sequel.
Bye,
Yeah,
all.
guys.
Honestly,
great
the
night.
sequel is Hate Actually. Hate Actually.
And it's all about Andrew Lincoln, right? That's that whole
Yes.
the whole movie. Good night, all.